If Love and Gogi is wrong, I don't want to be right.
What would Socrates say to that?
It tickles my fancy.
Okay.
Goosies.
I don't have hair.
Oof.
You got Marcos.
That's not
Wait.
Yeah.
That's true. You do got me. Get over here, Marcus. Let me look at you.
They
don't want it.
Tobin and Leroy, ready to deploy. Had to hit it with a little journalism, but that was a decoy. Better have about me, boy. Okay. Leroy and Tobin, hold to the show, man. Still in the sauce with the show, and till then his hat won't open. Sometimes go taste like a snowman. No proof of my life, better more than no proof. Like I always wanted him, I never hated him, I never traded him, and if I did, I never ever traded him. You don't know what is a star? Like under the city, the driver's side flyer. Wish I could large, so many more. 10 in the more, never a bar. 8, 10 in the more, 2 to the P. Nothing to you, but it's something to me. Handsome as ever, and cute as can be. You can watch it on YouTube with room for free. This one time for the Twitch. This one time for the text. This one time for the phone line. Whole time, what they gonna do next?
You know, I just wish you guys would stop the quibbling.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Tobin and Leroy here with you, 560 WQAM. Take you up until 2 here on the program. We're streaming live on YouTube and Twitch, Miami 560 WQAM. How did your help with your German neighbor go, Leroy?
First of all, I love the way I send my guy messages and he tries to just roll right into a bit. Right?
It's like my life.
No.
My life always rolls into a bit.
First of all, you know my neighbors. You've met them.
Not all of them. I don't remember all your neighbors.
They're not German.
Huh. Well, I don't really know, dude.
And you went right into old house. Like, yo, dummy. I don't know. Listen, I have a lady from Finland who lives next to me, you know, and so like I don't know, you know, you never know where somebody's journey is going to take them. What? Do you do your bit on her?
Not in front of her, no. But with my wife all the time. Especially when it comes to her cats, because she loses her cats all the time. I don't even know if quite frankly, she still has both cats, but she goes, cannot find it.
Cats, they come back.
One would think, but
I told you we got a neighborhood cat that just roams the neighborhood. Snickers. Everybody knows Snickers. Everybody know who you belong to.
Yeah,
you got to bring him back.
One would think that they do always come back, but you know, she seems always concerned. She always is
not concerned enough to keep their ass in the house.
But the old can't keep up with animals. She's very old.
Dude.
You know?
Big Spoon.
Yep.
Bless her heart. Lost a turtle.
What do you mean? Like recently?
A while ago. So she thought she was going to do Rebecca a favor and clean her tank. She takes the tank outside, takes the turtle, sits the turtle on the ground. And the turtle
takes off.
How does a turtle escape?
Turtles are weird, man. Like I'm telling you, like especially during rainstorms.
The turtle ran away. And she's like, I'm looking for the turtle. I'm like, why would you put the turtle on the ground?
Yeah, we live
on the turtle. He ain't gonna run away.
Turtles are weird, dude. Like I live next to a shallow part of a canal, and we have a lot of those painted turtles, and there'll be like random days where like they're just up in our driveway, so they got to get like up the hill, over the lawn, and then I don't know if they're just looking for shelter or what they're going for, but like I've woken up, there's been a big ass turtle just on my front porch. I'm like, what are you doing here, dude?
Do you go put him back?
Yeah, of course.
And then the turtle's probably like, dummy, now I got to do it all over again.
Maybe, but I'm just very impressed that he got up there in the first place.
But how do you, like, she lost the turtle, dude. I couldn't stop laughing. Like, how does a turtle elude you? It's a turtle.
I lost a couple chinchillas one time. That's
different.
Is it?
Huh?
Is it?
I mean, I don't know of a chinchilla moving like a turtle.
I mean, they're like not the most fleet of rodents. Like they're a little plump, you know.
I mean, okay, but what's the slow animals?
Sloth.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
like you're losing a sloth. A sloth would
No.
be if you lost a sloth, that would be equivalent to losing
Having a
turtle.
sloth would be boring. You know, they don't do anything. They're just hanging there. I wouldn't want that as an animal. But I had a chinchilla. His name was Wiggles.
I got to tell you that animal that brought in that we was holding.
That was a lemur. Maui.
Lemur, that was weird. He had like
He had some
he had
weird
like
paws.
leather hands.
He had some weird paws on him, man.
Like they were like leather gloves.
All the time. I was like, what the hell is this guy got going on? He was freaking out a little bit too. You know, he's like, where the hell am I? And then we, of course, had to parade him around the entire studio at that time. This is what you do if you get a lemur. Shout out to our boy Todd from Jungle Queen.
Yep.
Taking us for bringing the lemur in. What a delight that was.
Yep.
Really was fun. Let's get to our headlines. Brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Shout out to Trevor. Trevor sitting in for Frog Boy today. Hello, Trevor. How are you?
We're here. How about that? Are you guys worried already? Because I've been hearing you guys were super cocky after game 5 and stuff.
I'm very cocky. I'm not worried in the least bit,
Well,
especially as I said on the show yesterday, I was in a very dark place down 3-0. But seeing Kachuk come alive in this series has restored my faith. I feel good.
Okay. And I got to say, shout out to all my green teamers out there because you guys get a parade tomorrow. I got to say that. Shout out to all my green teamers.
Who are the green teamers?
You should know this. Come on, Mr. Heat Culture himself.
Who the hell is a green teamer?
It's the Celtic fans and stuff. Green
How
teamers.
dare you shout out the Celtics fan
What?
on this show? What are you doing?
Because they put me in a dark place too, and I love every Celtic fan I know in my
You
in my.
do?
Hey,
why?
They're
I
more
don't-
passionate than Heat
I
Culture
don't
fans.
understand what you're doing. Like,
Hey,
you're coming in
I'm
here
a
immediately
Trevor.
and You're giving shout outs to the,
Trevor,
to
not-
the Celtics fans.
Not the best way to be a member of
Yeah,
the show, dude.
Not a great debut. Although he can help you with this. If you have hockey questions, like you have your rules questions all the time, you're peppering me with. This is
No,
the guy
no.
to ask.
I asked, listen, I watch these games and
Oh, do you watch all these games? How
And-
long have you been watching? Just the last couple of years, or the whole
No.
time?
I've gone to 1 or 2 hockey games almost every year.
Okay.
Right? No, listen, hockey is 1,000 times better live.
Agree.
Okay. And now that the Panthers have been pretty good, I've watched their runs, and I've watched and there's things I noticed, but you have to understand, I look at hockey through football eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And so the one thing that I've been peppering Tobin with is these situations that come up, right? And one of the
They're
things that
mostly
I've been
penalty
annoyed
questions.
with, huh?
They're mostly penalty rule questions.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I'm like, so I hit him with, and he got mad at me. Hey, I know if it's 5-on-4
Mm-hmm.
that there's icing. There's no icing for
There's no
the
icing,
shorthanded
correct.
team. What if both teams are shorthanded? What if it's 4-on-4?
It's 4-on-4. Then it's continue on play. That's what it is.
No, but you can have icing.
You could, but it's not called all the time. That's the thing. So
Right. So see what
You know
I'm
I mean?
saying?
See, there's nuance to this, Leroy, and you expect me to know this like I'm Gary Bettman.
But I just asked
That's
him.
the last person you should listen to. By the way, Gary Bettman's the worst commissioner.
I
That's
can't
what-
wait to boo him. That's
But
like
if
that's the tradition.
I asked him, hey, if it's 4-on-4, can there still be icing? That's it. That's
That's
not
not the no.
it's-
Hold
it's
on.
a-
That's not the
it's-
only question you've asked me.
Okay.
You've hit me with a parade of them throughout the days, dude.
wait,
like,
but okay, if I'm watching it and I'm getting into it and I finally started getting into the rules and stuff like that, then there's certain situations that catch me
Why do
off
you continue
guard.
to ask me? I don't understand.
Leroy, you have my number. You could text me. There's no such thing as a dumb question in the cell phone, anyways.
Well,
That's not true.
evidently there is, because the idiot
That's
I
not
deal
true.
with can't answer no hockey questions.
Whatever, dude.
Leroy,
Like,
send,
I just-
send,
you know
send
what's
your
weird?
text messages to me.
Whatever, dude.
Here's,
Go take
here's
care-
what I just found out, this year, that if you in overtime go
Mhm.
empty net and lose the game, you don't get the point.
That is correct.
Yeah, just stuff like that presents itself, and I'm like, did not know that was even it's like if he asked me about the free kick in football, it still exists.
Huh?
The drop kick, you
The
mean?
drop kick?
No, the free kick.
Dude.
So here, listen. In football, say if there's 1 second left to go in the half,
Mm-hmm.
right, and you're backed up, and you punt the ball out of your end zone and the defense catches it, you can get a free kick. That means you line up basically like a kickoff, and you can kick it like a field goal as long as you catch it.
You've already lost me, dude. You've
Right.
already lost me.
Exactly. It's a weird football rule.
But I wouldn't.
This is what you get for when you're under Bill Belichick for so long.
But this
anyways.
is the thing, though, dude. I'd never ask you that. I'd never
You
just
wouldn't,
be like,
you wouldn't.
I wouldn't think about it. I just move on with my day. But you somehow you want.
You don't want to know.
You all of a sudden you want to
But
be.
you don't want to. You don't want to. You don't want to. You're watching this sport. You don't want to know. You don't want to know all the intricacies and the rules.
I usually just listen to the broadcast. I don't know. Like
no, they don't know.
They're usually describing it.
Their
Like,
explanations of it are sometimes not accurate.
Well, listen. This isn't just a playoff thing. You're doing this during the regular season. You hit
Right.
me too.
So I can get ready for the playoffs.
Give you what do you got? All right, dude. Marlins are off today. They're back at it tomorrow. Whatever. Florida Panthers, they're practicing right as we speak over at the Iceplex.
Shouldn't they leave already since they got delayed last time?
I don't know. I don't think the weather's going to be as bad, but why change things up? You know, they had a one-day travel over. It worked out well for them. I know it was a dicey situation, but it worked out good.
That's a long dude. You think about this, Tobes. Think how we feel when we fly back from Vegas or we fly to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
They're going twice that distance.
Yep.
Right. That's not.
I get you, but like they just did it and had probably are going to have the worst circumstances that they had in the last time around.
I would like
so like I wouldn't change things up if I were them. Like if you want to practice here, I think that's the place to do
does
it.
Edmonton come down early here?
I don't know.
I think they do.
Well,
I've seen a lot of Oiler fans coming down really early.
Could it be something? Could it be something as simple as practice? Someplace to practice?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the availability. I'm sure that if they had to in Canada, I'm sure they could find a rink.
They got the Rogers place. They could probably practice there.
I'm sure they could probably practice there if they chose to. I'm sure that there are rules like there are in the NBA. I'd imagine they're not going to ban you out of the country because you don't get a rink. Like that's not fair.
I mean, they do.
You can do more. You're allowed to do morning skate at the opposing arena, or you just go to like some of the colleges, which some people do up north, anyways. So
well, that's what I would think. I would think that there's got to be some place where they're allowed in a lot of time, but they prefer to get it down here, get the work in, stay in the sunshine.
That is a long flight.
Let's just say this, dude. They're not going to not have the game. So, like, if the Panthers, let's just say some Yeti grabs them out of the sky and they got to get delayed. It's not like the Stanley Cup's not going to get played, dude. So I think they'll be okay. But yeah, they're at the ice. They're practicing. They started up there.
Remember, they bad weather. They've moved football games to Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, so, dude, it's going to get in at some point. It's going to get in.
They're not gonna say
we're playing for Lord Stanley at some point. This thing ain't getting canceled or moved to a Dakota. Like it's happening.
A Dakota.
They could practice. It's like going up to Montana. You can just practice at University of Montana. Probably.
Yeah, like a halfway. It's like guys,
that's where it is, anyways. If you look on the map,
we're taking a stop. What are we doing? We're gonna practice in
north of Montana.
Yeah, way north.
Way north.
All right, we'll take a quick break. You guys can get at this show on the chat, Miami 560 WQAM. Take a break. Back up to this. All right, welcome back. Tobin and Leroy here with you. Blink 182 is coming to the Casillas Center with special guest Pierce the Veil. They'll be there tomorrow. We got you one more chance to win some tickets to Blink 182. So keep listening for your chance to win. This is a Live Nation show. So your boy Udonis Haslem, Leroy, he's back on ESPN. Big media star.
He's actually really good at it.
He's taking all of Kendrick Perkins stuff. It's great. I love it.
He's a great analyst, Kendrick Perkins. Come on.
At what?
Just awful takes. Come on, Tobin. Come on.
He is going to be replaced by Udonis Haslem and everything. And it's noticeable because they're bringing him back like crazy. I don't think Udonis hasn't planned probably doing it this much this summer. They're like, you know what? This guy's great. Let's bring him back every single show, every single time.
Aren't the Heat people going to be mad about that? Come on.
I don't know. I mean, Pat Riley has already said that he said that, you know, he's got to realize he works for the organization, but I think that Udonis Haslem is towing the line pretty great. But it is an interesting thing because the Heat normally don't like things out there, and they don't usually have the public voices. That's usually reserved only for the Celtics and former Lakers. And so now they're in this
Knicks,
position.
come on. And the Knicks, come on.
What Knicks are out there?
You never know. There's always a Nick out there, like Wally Zerbiak. He's got a TV job.
I don't think he does. Does Wally Zerbiak have a TV job?
Yeah, he does for MSG. Come on.
But
I just like, you know, the cool thing about it is like we all know UD a certain way.
Yep.
Right. But to hear him give honest opinions about what's going on, right, means that he probably knew more about it than, you know, we thought. Right.
Absolutely. But first, before we get to UD, because he had a take, got a little could be something, could be nothing for you.
No,
Leroy.
don't do it.
Oh, dude, I got something. I got to get it to you. All right. So,
hell.
You familiar with Jimmy Butler, dude?
Get out of the first hour before.
No, well, listen, we're coming out of the gates with it today, dude, because something happened yesterday on Jimmy's Instagram. He's got a new bit. Jimmy has bits too. All right. I'm not the only guy who lives their life with bits. Jimmy has bits now on his Instagram. It's not just songs and food questions. All right.
All right.
So Jimmy Butler is doing a new thing on his Instagram. And one has to wonder, Leroy.
Yeah.
Is this a message to Pat Riley and the Miami Heat? Because we haven't heard many comments from Jimmy other than when he was trolling at the WNBA game with Cam Brink. So yesterday he's on IG. He's got the, for our radio audience, he's got the Sparks jersey back on, the Los Angeles number 22
what's her
Cam
name got
Brink
hurt?
jersey.
This girl got
Cam
hurt.
Brink
Yeah,
tore
tore
ACL.
ACL.
My WNBA season's over already, so.
Yeah, it's a bummer. But Jimmy had this to say, Leroy, and you tell me. I mean, like, this could be something. It could be nothing. That's why I bring it up to you. You always say, like, I'm jumping to conclusions, but I wouldn't jump to conclusions without running it past you. I mean, I'm going to listen to you. But here's what Jimmy Butler had to say.
I'm choosing to do my words of wisdom every Wednesday now. Don't ask me why. But my first one is, if you say you're going to do something, just do it. Yeah. If you say you're going to do it, just do it. Especially if you're one of my friends. If you say you're going to do something, gotta do it. Wednesdays wisdoms or wisdoms Wednesdays. Either way, over and out.
How about that, Leroy?
Now,
Shout out Pat Riley.
Now, wait.
Let's go.
You know what? I'm big on that. You know that, right? And it has to do with, you know, when you're an athlete, everybody expects you to be where you're supposed to be, do what you say you're gonna do, and whatever. Especially when it benefits the other person.
Yeah.
But the shoe doesn't always fit on the other side, right? And so I get really annoyed when people say they're gonna do something and don't do it because of the code I had to live by. So I get where he's coming from. Now, I'm gonna put an interesting twist on this.
Okay. You know what I like about this initially already? Not dismissive from you, which I like.
Smiling faces with hidden agendas
Mm-hmm.
can also apply here. When you look a man in his face and say, "We got you, we're gonna take care of you,"
Mm-hmm.
and then situations come up and you kind of waffle on that, now we back to where we are with what Jimmy is saying.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's why I'm going to fight back a little bit. You're making assumptions which what Jimmy wants based on his current situation. But he could not be talking about that.
That's true. Listen, he could be talking about.
So you, and that's why he does it, because he knows people like you are going to automatically go to, and then you have plausible deniability.
Absolutely.
Because you can say, that's not what I was talking about.
Well, that's the beauty of cryptic social media work with these athletes.
That's
you go out there.
That is the benefit of having somebody like you doing Miami radio. That's it.
I don't like the fact that you say like me. I think anybody could come to these conclusions. I think
really?
I'm just.
It always seems like you're
bringing
the
it to
one.
the people.
It always seems like you're the one.
Well, I mean, look, if people want to be sheep and they just want to overlook it and pass it as nothing, that's fine.
No, it's the blind leading the blind. Come on, that's what it is.
If you have this idea that you just want to say, hey, Jimmy Butler's doing a fun thing, that's fine. But we know what time it is, and we are, if I have my math correctly, we're 2 days into this NBA season where their own free agents could get extensions. Is it plausible that Jimmy Butler is just like, hey, whatever happened to that?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
This is an honest question. There's no difference in doing it today or July 5th, right? Because you can't sign it until after July 6th.
Well, there's no difference as far as like the money. Yeah, he's going to get the money.
No. What I'm saying is there is no difference in saying you're going to extend Jimmy today or extend him on July 5th.
Yeah, it's not like Pat
because you can't sign it until July 6th.
Yeah, there's no.
What's the issue?
Well, I mean, like Pascal Siakam gets his deal like one day after the finals. He's sitting here and goes, "It wasn't my deal."
But again, I asked you that question.
Well, let me ask you this, Leroy. I mean, in all honesty, if you think if Jimmy Butler is putting that out there to send a message to Pat Riley,
which you're the only one who has confirmed that so far.
I haven't confirmed anything. I brought it to the people. That's all I'm doing.
No,
right?
you're something. Wait.
I'm not doing anything other than throwing it out into the ether.
You're fraud. You're fraud. Here's why.
-1.
Yes.
Fraud.
Your something or nothings are never nothing.
That's not true, dude. No. That's not true. I would otherwise I would just call the segment "This is something."
No,
if you want to say it's nothing.
Here's
That's
why.
fine. I'm okay with that.
Because you don't want backlash from me.
I don't want,
and so you want to try to ease me into the conversation. When I get mad at you for bringing it up, you go, no. That's why I said something. Well, so you're doing the same thing Jimmy's doing.
But you didn't say it was nothing.
No. But what I did is I explained the situation from an athlete's perspective, my perspective, and how I feel about that issue. And then I went on to say that you have no idea if that's about Pat. You're making it about Pat because of his situation, which is exactly what he wants.
Or he really does want it to be about Pat, and he just wants to have that plausible deniability. See, here's the thing. What if at some point, like you said, what if at some point Pat Riley and him, they went to Prime Italian at some point in the season, right? And they're eating meatballs. And Pat goes, "You're a lifer, dude. You're one of my forever guys. Don't you worry, Jimbo." And then all of a sudden, Jimmy Butler not available for the end of the season. Pat gets annoyed. He's rats off a ship because stars never end well. Pat was a little harsh in the media. And Jimmy Butler goes, "Hey, man, whatever happened to such and such?" What if there are conversations we don't know about?
And what if Pat Riley said, "The facts have changed, baby"?
Pat Riley's falling asleep at the wheel right now. Let's be honest here.
Wait, but again, here's my point. If you can't sign it until July 6th, is he really doing anything wrong right now? Because even if he says, "Yeah, I'm gonna give you the extension," Jimmy can't sign it till the 6th.
I mean, but dude, if we had the news, like if the Heat were jumping at it, you don't think we'd have it out there already that the Heat are going to give Jimmy Butler his extension? Because what's the difference on it? Like that's the other thing.
If there'd be a press conference today at 1:00,
there wouldn't be a press conference, but we for sure would get like the Woj or Shams or whoever bombs that they're into.
Come on, there would be a press conference. Come on,
no, I don't think there would be.
Wait, question.
I don't think there wasn't for his last extension.
Can I ask another question?
Sure.
You think they're waiting until after the draft?
No, I don't think they're going to give it to him.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I think that's
Wait,
probably
you really
where they're
see?
at.
I don't listen. You're going to a place I ain't going because I'm not because and if you don't have to sign it until you can't sign it. If they said yes yesterday or yes July 5th, it doesn't matter. He can't sign it until the 6th. So why are we putting pressure on to have to make a decision now? That sounds like, you know what? You've been dating a girl for 2 years, right? Everything's going great. She tells you got to put a ring on this finger by Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. It's a weird dynamic. It's weird.
But here's the thing. Pat Riley, when he said it, also said like, well, we don't have to do that because they technically have all year that he's eligible for the extension.
Okay, but I wouldn't, I wouldn't be that guy.
Yeah, but I don't know
July 5th.
Yeah, but I don't know what I don't know what the distinguishing thing you're doing there between July 5th with him being officially able to sign it and being offered it. Because if you're allowed to offer him the deal, you don't think he's taking it?
No, but what I'm saying is this. If you can't sign it until the 6th, you think there's a big deal in offering him now in July 5th?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I think it's probably you've made up. I guess what I would say with this, what's going to change from the time that you offer him the deal to the official day that he can sign.
That's why I asked you about the draft. All I'm doing is looking for like reasons why they might not do it.
But I don't understand. Like, what about the draft are you?
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just saying. To me, like I get everybody wants it right away, right? But if you can't sign it until July 6th, then why wouldn't the team feel that I have until July 5th, so he's going to be able to sign it? If he says on July 5th, Jimmy, here's your extension, and Jimmy signs it on the 6th, what was the difference?
No, there technically wasn't an official difference.
Okay, then.
But I don't understand why you think like the Pat is going to be sitting here being like, yeah, we just wanted to wait until the official date.
No, I don't. I don't know. You don't know that either. We don't know. Listen, you're bringing up could be something or could be nothing, right? And I'm saying the issue that Jimmy talks about is something, okay? As it applies to the Heat, I'm really not that concerned about it because it hasn't really become an issue yet. On July 5th, if he hasn't signed, and then July 6th comes along, then it could be an issue and I'm going to raise some eyebrows. Okay, what's going on? But until then, what if they were to say, okay, tomorrow, we're going to extend Jimmy. Then what?
Then it's over. Then the drama's over.
Okay, but there's no drama. It's been 3 days.
I don't know, dude.
How's it drama in 3 days and you've been on the team this long? And technically you have another year.
Silence speaks volumes.
No, not.
Why come out and say
3 days of silence?
Pascal Siakam already got paid.
We're over-exaggerating this a little bit?
That's Indiana, Tobin. Indiana does anything
Doesn't
stupid.
matter, though. They signed their guy as soon as they could sign their guy.
Why is it Pat Riley doing it? He's falling asleep at the wheel.
That's the point. He's not going to do it. And I think when Jimmy comes out here and he says, if you say you're going to do something, if Pat Riley has told Jimmy Butler, you're going to retire with the Miami Heat, Jimmy comes out and he goes, hey, if you say you're going to do something, and he doesn't say Pat, but if he's
D-Wade was a lifer.
I know. That's the point, though. Like, what if he said, I'm not going to do to D-Wade what I did to you?
Let me ask you a question. We all have watched Pat Riley work for a long time, right? And let me ask you this. You think pressure is going to make Pat Riley do something he don't want to do? Now, let me answer that for you. Hell no.
He did pay
So
and Kelly Olynyk.
I need to get pressured into paying Hassan Whiteside a max.
And
right at midnight.
And paid Kelly Olynyk too.
That actually wasn't one of the bad ones. It wasn't great, but I mean,
you hated his guts.
I've always hated his guts, but it wasn't like as far as like the albatrosses, like that wasn't one of the bad ones. It was weird. I didn't see it coming.
You just hated because he was a green teamer for life and he came down here.
I really want you to stop using the term green teamer. In fact, if you do it again, I'm giving you a -1.
And I'm going to give it to myself right now anyway.
I've never heard it in my life. Hey. And I really,
Trevor,
me to my core.
I've been defending you being a fan of the C's for so long,
I'm
right?
not even a
'Cause
Celtic
that's-
fan. I just
Wait, 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 let me finish. Okay. But it might get outright physical if you talk about green, whatever that is. That's too much. Too much.
The only green teamer we acknowledge here is Marcos Frogboy. That's it.
Yeah, I got Cedric Maxwell on the phone right now, anyways.
All right, take a break. Back after this.
This hour of
York City. You are now rapping.
Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you, 560 WQAM. We're get a weather update from the Demesman and Dover law firm.
Sure.com.
Free consultations 24/7. Call them at 866-954-MORE.
Did y'all get that hard, 15-minute rain yesterday? It was terrible.
It was terrible this morning, dude. It was as soon as I walked out of my house, crazy sideways rain, and then that just destroys everybody.
It was gross on 95. I wanted to lose my what.
There was a fire on the turnpike as you were getting off here, so I had to go sawgrass the whole way today. Anyway,
that's the better way, honestly.
What do you got, Leroy?
So winds are out of the east at about 15 to 20 miles an hour. Those clouds are humming. It is mostly cloudy with some sun poking through, so look for those showers this evening. And I would say it's about 85 degrees. It's been a little bit cooler than that heat wave we had a couple of weeks ago. But the showers are still there. It's still a little humid. Other than that, you know the routine this time of year.
Yep. Get ready. Get your galoshes ready.
Yep.
That's what it's going to be like. You got tropical storms there. We're at the A's. We're starting this thing up. Get ready.
There's one in Texas right now, right?
Yep. Alberto, I believe.
It is Alberto.
We're going to talk later on in the show to John Michaels. He's the morning show host at 680 The Fan in Atlanta. Reason being, we want to get on this Trae Young thing that really was polarizing amongst Heat fans, and Leroy really got mad at me about this yesterday. I don't understand why, Leroy, because the people were with me yesterday. According to my poll, we had it was a 55-45 split for Trae Young. And I didn't even say hey, trade the farm for Trae Young. It was really just to tickle your fancy if it just became a thing. And, it's I get why it's polarizing. The Heat kicked his ass. You feel like you're going to a plan.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
What?
Here's what I hate about all these conversations. You were leading the charge.
Guilty.
At least I voted no for this, by the way. At least I voted no.
And now you're the guy?
I told you yesterday, and it's going to be my theme throughout the summer, because I already had my year cleanse where I wouldn't wail. And Yeah, he's a whale. He's a whale. 3-time All-Star. He's absolutely a whale. If you don't consider that a whale, you're being very whale stingy. I don't understand.
He does not represent anything right for Miami. He's this loser franchise guy anyways. He plays in Atlanta.
That's where you got to take the advantage, though. You got to be able to pluck the bones. People would have said the same thing about Kristaps Porzingis, would they have not? Franchise guy.
Kristaps Porzingis is a tall white guy anyways. He can shoot the three occasionally. That's why.
You're lashing out, and you're not really giving my answer, though.
I'm giving you an answer, and you will like it anyways.
Wait, but the difference between Kristaps Porzingis and Trae Young is people have still traded valuable stuff to get Kristaps Porzingis because of the tools that he has.
They traded a bag of donuts for him, Leroy. Didn't give up nothing for him.
The tools that he has, though, when healthy.
I thought your answer was going to be for Trae Young. Is the difference between Kristaps Porzingis and Trae Young is you need 4 Trae Youngs to make a Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be your way. But we're just going to ask John about it because, there is a lot of fodder out there in Atlanta of what's going on. But speaking of fodder,
can we ask him about the Braves too? Because I love to see the pain of the Braves.
I will not ask a Bears. I will not ask.
You can fly him over in a mini jet.
I will not ask a Braves question. But
you won't need extended seating.
Udonis Haslem. We were mentioning this. So Udonis Haslem, he was on NBA Today. Love him. And Udonis Haslem, this is why I love UD, right? He just calls it like he sees it. And was asked about this whole Donovan Mitchell thing because to Leroy's point, what's the big deal? He can't officially sign his extension. He's in France right now. Although I feel like they could docu-sign it if they wanted to. But he hasn't signed his extension either, Leroy. Very noticeable.
Did they offer it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Call up Ken Cameron, Lee.
Here is Udonis Haslem on NBA Today.
If he was going to stay in Cleveland, then why doesn't he sign the extension? If you're trying to get free agents and you're looking to improve your team and get ready for the future, then the best thing to do is have your best player already signed. So when you pitch it to these guys, hey, come to Cleveland, this is what we're trying to do. We already got Donovan Mitchell. This is the future. So I don't know if he's really interested in going back to Cleveland. I don't think Cleveland is his first choice. I think he might really want to get out of Cleveland. If you look back when he was traded to Cleveland, Cleveland wasn't even on his radar of teams where he wanted to go. It was New York. It was another team down south somewhere. I ain't gonna say no names, but it was other teams that he was talking about going to. So Cleveland was never on the list of teams that he really wanted to go to in the first place.
Wow, just laying it out there.
But it's the same thing with Dame, though.
It is the same. Well, it's different with Dame because Dame had 4 years left on his deal. If Donovan Mitchell doesn't sign his extension, he has leverage as far as like, hey, I can tell any team that you try to trade me to, I ain't staying there.
All right, can I ask another question?
Yep.
And this is a question that has to do with the team, right? At what point do you get tired of adding pieces in December and in January to try to compete for a championship? You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of these teams are making these trades in January or in December, and you really can't build your team for that year anyway.
Certainly not with stars, it's tougher. Like it's
right,
usually,
and so like I'm looking at
role guys or something like that.
Right,
that's a lot
but I'm saying with the stars. So like, are we at a position now where the teams that will be willing to trade for these guys aren't going to be teams that are competing for a championship that year anyway? And it actually you might be going to a worse spot.
Yeah, I think that's probably why he wants to make his choice now and like would like to get all that drama away. And I think Cleveland would too. Like you don't want that hanging over because they could roll the dice and be like, oh, you're gonna leave. Okay, we'll just run this out and do the KD thing and we'll play this. Hopefully we get a couple things to break our way this year. And that's the front they're gonna probably put up. But
that's
I mean
that's the Kawhi thing, because it worked one time.
Well, the Kawhi thing was the Spurs did trade him away, but like
I'm saying
I'm talking
about
like
it worked one time where the guy didn't really want to go there, but he went there and showed up.
Yeah, okay, I get you. And also, they didn't really they traded for DeMar DeRozan. Like, I think if you're hopeful that you get Donovan Mitchell and you get him to where he wants to go, you have a more amicable trade. Maybe you feel like you get more in the trade for him.
Mm-hmm.
But this kind of goes back to what we were saying a couple of weeks ago that you poo-pooed. And that is, I told you Bam Adebayo was up to something, dude. I told you he was up to something. And this is classic Udonis Haslem getting it from the grapevine from Bam Adebayo. I'm telling you right now, he knows something's up there. You don't just go on television and say something like that and feel like you have nothing. You're going off of nothing. Of course he knows what's going on there.
But did here's my other question. We've all talked about how Donovan hasn't signed the extension.
Yep.
We've never heard whether Cleveland offered him the extension yet.
Ask Jay Crawford. Go text your boy. He knows.
How's he doing right now? I know he's sad about Ohio State already.
Oh no, I'm letting him feel the heat. I'm letting him feel the heat about that. Hold on, I'm gonna ask him now.
Yeah, ask him to ask Dan Gilbert because we're all blocked. He won't answer us. But
I'm not blocked, by the way.
Well, then you got to get your badge of. You got to get your South Florida badge of honor.
I don't want that South Florida badge of honor. I'm already blocked by other cool people already.
Take a quick break. Back after this.
Text WQ.
It's time for our Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua. It's our Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Tonga Valoa. Not
Tua Tagovailoa.
A for effort. Dolphins quarterback.
Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua.
Tua.
Tua, Tua, Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Can go to hell. Tua Tagovailoa. Dolphins quarterback.
Daddy loves you guys.
Our Tua with Tobin and Leroy.
Check the history of food.
Hour 2 of the program, ladies and gentlemen. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. Take you up until 2 here on the program. Streaming live on the Odyssey app. You guys can download that, listen to us on demand, all your podcast platforms, and, of course, can watch us on YouTube and Twitch, Miami 560 WQAM. Headlines, Leroy, brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy a truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Panthers practicing as we speak, Leroy, getting ready. Only person not skating today, according to Jameson Olive, is Aaron Ekblad. Looks like he is getting the day off. They are sticking with the line change that they did last game. So Verhaeghe is on the front line with Barkov. Rodriguez is with Kachuk, so it looks like they're sticking with that at least at practice today, Leroy. We'll give you some quotes and feelings from Paul Maurice as that wraps up, and they head off to Edmonton as they try and close this puppy out tomorrow on the road. Nervous, Leroy. How are your feelings after a day to soak in?
Like you can't have it both ways, right? Like, you can't say it's just one game and then be panicked about the next game. They're up 3-2. And that's the facts. And they've won in Edmonton. If I were to have any questions, I would say that the Connor McDavid we've seen the first 2 games ain't the same Connor McDavid we see now.
No, he's tearing him a new bleep hole. He's been incredible. But the thing is, like, yeah, you're right. It hasn't been just one game. And the thing is, that's why I was so down in the midst of them being down 3-0, because it felt like they haven't played good hockey now for it felt like 3 games.
Right. Like the third game was, oh my God, hang on.
Yes. Which they literally did by like an inch of Bob's pad.
Right.
Just like, and then, we could be in an even worse situation, but them finding some kind of a life, whether you want to believe in momentum or not, it makes me feel better, because it felt like the hockey they were playing for 3 straight games at that point was awful. Just straight off.
The Panthers have been really good in doing this, playing with a sense of urgency all the time, right? And if you notice, any time that they stop doing that, they look really bad. And teams have jumped on them. Now, as fast as I think Connor McDavid is, and as fast as he looks on the ice, and as just creative as he is with the puck, with people around him, right? At no point in time until the last 2 games did the Panthers look outclassed.
No.
Right? And the last 2 games, he has looked like he's skating and everybody else is standing still. And so all I would say is now you understand the level of intensity you have to play with. The sense of urgency you have to play with, because now you got one of the best guys to ever do it with desperation. And you understand that when all these things happen, it don't go to anybody other than Connor McDavid. So he's playing with a certain level of intensity and urgency that maybe other guys on that team aren't, because they don't have to feel the heat that he's going to feel.
Yeah, he's been on an incredible run. So we'll give you some more updates from Panthers practice. Meanwhile, some draft stuff out there. Rich Paul He has said that anybody thinking that
what
LeBron
team
James,
is he drafting for?
Rich Paul, the Lakers.
He's now the GM for the Lakers. Jeez, no
He's
wonder.
been- I mean, he's
No
been the
wonder
GM.
why the UConn's head coach was rats off a ship. He didn't want to go there.
He's been the GM of the Lakers, but he tried to put out there in the ether yesterday that LeBron James and Bronny James, not a package deal, Leroy. Not a package deal. He said, quote, LeBron is off this idea of having to play with Bronny. If he does, he does. But if he doesn't, he doesn't. There's no deal to be made that's guaranteed if the Lakers draft Bronny at 55, that LeBron will re-sign. If that was the case, I would force him to take them at 17. We don't need the leverage. The Lakers can draft Bronny and LeBron doesn't re-sign. LeBron also doesn't. LeBron is also not going to Phoenix for a minimum. We could squash that now. Yeah, that has been a favorite one too, is that he's going to go to Phoenix, but do it for peanuts.
Let me explain something to you.
Phoenix is always fun to go to, but not to play there though.
But what I'm saying is, like, why? Like, I love the way people mess with other people's money. Like, who would put that out there?
That LeBron would play for a
can make
minimum?
40, 50
Rich
million
Paul
a
would
year.
do that. Rich Paul would.
No.
do that.
No. There were people that were making the assumption that LeBron would go to Phoenix for the minimum. And I'm like, why? Get your hand out that man's pocket.
Yeah, that's the thing that people would kick around. I mean, like, look, he is a bazillionaire, but like, it's not going to happen. They're not going to have him go and play with. Now, could there be, would there be like, hey, for whatever reason they're sick of the Lakers? It would probably have to be like, hey, KD's getting traded to the Lakers in that case. Then LeBron is going to go play for the minimum. But I don't know why, in that case, even if they say it's not a package deal, if they wanted it to be a package deal, why they're not just going to make the Lakers take him? Especially if it's going to be in the second round.
Is it bad? I just want to see Bronny James just go to the Wizards.
Just because you want him to be in the saddest place?
Yes, I just want to be in the saddest place ever.
Why would you wish that?
I just think it's perfect.
You do stuff like this too. You just wish ill will on folks.
First of all, I haven't done that with Bronny though. Like I
just want to see it happen. That's
not
all.
in this. I said folks. I didn't say Bronny.
Yeah. Well, with Bronny, I think it would be funny if the Heat take him in the second round.
No, that means more. I gotta clip up that.
Well, I think it'd be great. I think it'd be this funny story if like he's not a package deal, but if he's going to go for the best place to develop him,
can I ask a question?
Fire away. Time's yours.
Has seemed to elude all of us. Can he play?
We have no idea. We have no idea. His stats were not impressive. He's not even the most impressive guy that's going to get drafted off that team. He did have cardiac arrest. He seems to be a lot shorter than we know, than we thought. And so, yeah, that's why all those questions are out there. He wouldn't be getting a sniff if he wasn't LeBron's son. But it's nothing we haven't seen in the league before. Like we've seen brothers get taken by teams. People do seem to be off this idea of taking him in the first round. Even Rich Paul is acknowledging that. So
like he could not get drafted, and the world would go on fire though.
No, he could not get drafted and he could just get signed. I mean, like that's one of the things that's also happened is sometimes like
Michael Jordan's son was on Illinois. He didn't even get drafted. Patrick Ewing's son didn't even make it to the league
but
either.
so what? And two Antetokounmpos have had jobs. Like I understand what you're saying, but it's like when people say like nepotism or family stuff hasn't benefited players, it has. Like I don't.
I know. Noah Eagle. Look at him. Anyways,
I think he's actually pretty decent though.
He's all right.
I think he's decent. I mean, listen, every one of those Syracuse babies.
I mean, it also be a situation of the Caleb, the Martin brothers, because the one Martin that was not as highly acclaimed as the one is probably having a more successful career.
Yeah, I saw it was kicked around yesterday that he's going to make like 15 a year, Caleb, maybe from OKC. That was like the rumor on Twitter yesterday. So.
Boy, they'd be even more.
It was a nice Heat career, Caleb Martin. It was nice knowing you.
That's how we do. We you know what? We like the Sioux Fall Heat. We develop all these players and they go make big money somewhere else.
Yeah, but it's also an attractive thing because, like, if you are a guy with talent, you don't feel like you're getting a fair shake on the cheap skis for a few years. You come to the Heat, you play that role right. It's gonna work out for you eventually. Like you talk to Dunk Struce, Gabe Vincent, and now Caleb Martin.
Bumpy.
Oh, Bumpy. You're right. I forgot about Bumpy. So rich. So rich for those 2 years where he's making $20 million.
You know, a mix, dog.
That was one of the craziest interviews ever.
Right. Hey, dude. We was like, hey, what's going on? You know, a mix, right?
Yes. Thank you very much, Tyler. Tyler Johnson. It was good to know that. We appreciate that. The thing we were all like just shocked by because Tyler Johnson was like 6'0" is like he was just like, whoa, he like that dude jumped out of the gym.
He looked like a dude from Delco with the missing tooth.
It was wild. Yeah, that's right. He had the bad snaggle tooth at one point too.
Hey,
that was definitely something to worry about.
Absolutely.
The other thing, and this should make Leroy happy as far as draft stuff is concerned, ESPN's latest mock draft has them selecting Zach Edey with the 15th pick overall.
I love the way everybody made fun of me.
Why? You love 7-footers.
No. I think your most versatile player on your team is Bam. But he spends a majority of his time in the paint. And if you had somebody in the paint, he could be more, say it, Pascal Siakam.
More versatile.
I've been saying that, have I not, Tobin? From day one, Bam is going to end up have a similar skill set to Pascal Siakam
standpoint.
Yep. And each year he's grown to that. And so, like, yeah, it's not like to see him be able to do that. You can still get his mismatches. He can still back people down, but have that ability to play from the outside in instead of inside out. I think it makes this team better.
We'll take a quick break. You guys get the show on the chat feed, Miami 560 WQAM. Back with more after this. Welcome back. Tobin and Leroy here with you, 560 WQAM. Talk to John Michaels coming up here in a few minutes. We'll talk a little Trae Young with him. What, dude? I want to see what he feels about it. You're sitting here and you're badgering me. I want to see if this is a possibility. Hey, maybe
if we sign Trae Young, I got something to get him to Miami.
Leroy's holding up his tiny truck. You think for the valet, like he's got like a clown car? Oh man. So we'll get to him from John Michaels, 680 of the Fan in Atlanta coming on up. But did you see this, Leroy? You know I'm into the fight game, right?
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia is pulling a move. Garcia is pulling a move here. So look,
is he already become the Antonio Brown of boxing?
You know what? That's a great comparison, Leroy. He has really become like the not only one of boxing's biggest stars, but one of their biggest social media trolls. And you know, like it's been a big point of contention with a lot of this because people don't know with him how much of it is a bit, how much does the guy really need help? What it seems like we've seen with fighters, like they can go off the rails. Look at Oscar De La Hoya. We talked to Oscar about a lot of that stuff that he's been with. But yesterday he writes on social media, "Mom has cancer. I'm being sued. My supplements were tainted. Going through a divorce. Always getting bleep talked on the internet for years. Devin is asking for my victory to be taken away. I'm getting hit with everything. I still love God. He is everything. Y'all may catch me out, but as far as this boxing thing, I don't know. There's so much corruption. I'm over it. I may do acting or singing. I'll still be training, but I'm hurt and done with it. And everyone. The sad part is I'm a great boxer and I entertain and knock people out." And then he goes on to say in another tweet, "I'm officially retired." Now, he also is coming up with his sanctioning hearing for these tainted supplements. So a lot of people feel like he is going to get hammered with some kind of suspension. Now, again, they can't take the money from him. Made the money, has moved on. Although there is he and Devin Haney have both been upset that they haven't gotten their full payments apparently from Golden Boy with this fight. Which is
there Triller involved too in this as well?
No Triller, but this is exactly what Canelo Alvarez was talking about in the lead up to his fight with Oscar De La Hoya. He goes, "Hey, where's my Golovkin money?" Which, you know, Oscar De La Hoya denied, but that was the whole root of their fight. But it does appear like, you know, I don't know what to buy with him because I never know what to buy with him anymore. He hoodwinked us all, knocked Devin Haney to oblivion, and then tested positive for all these things, but he appears to be at least pulling the retirement card. I don't give this very much chance to hang for the entirety of his career.
He's not even 30 yet.
25.
Right.
Yeah, he's very young. Very young. But do you think that he is just doing this to duck the sanctioning, or do you feel like he is actually trying to step away?
I think that a lot of this, there's some, like it probably all hitting him at one time and he's just rambling, right?
Yes, I would say his Twitter is just rambling.
And that's kind of where it goes as a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what's the next tweet going to be. I don't know when. He's going to mention all those things. He's going to say, "I got through it." And he says, "Now I'm ready."
Yeah, now I'm fighting Tank Davis again.
Right. You see what I'm saying? So, like, he's too young. He's got time to correct all this stuff and get his life and his mind in the right place.
See, part of me wants this to, like, I want the circus to continue on some level, especially
I want it to be a bit. I don't want it to be actual life circumstances.
For sure. Yeah, you want everything to be okay.
Right. And so from that standpoint, I'm willing to sit back and not view it as anything until some time has gotten.
See,
because the thing is that it's not us. It's him putting himself out there like that.
Yeah.
And that makes it tougher to, like, you know, have a little, because if he would have just not done anything, not said anything, and disappeared for a year or two and said, "Man, I went through some stuff. I had to get my mind right? Instead of putting it all out here, you know, we may feel a little different. So
See, there's part of me that like wants him because like these sanctioning bodies and these state commissions with boxing and you know a lot of old fuddy-duddies, right?
It's worse than FIFA.
They're really bad. And there's part of me that like I would love to see like a broadcast of him like on their equivalent of the boxing stand and him just make a mockery of the entire discipline system because he's already done it. So why doesn't he just go fully in on this and being like, well, you know, you ever see like one of these crazed, you know, murderers or alleged murderers who like takes the stand and you're just like, wow, this person's a real.
Yeah,
like,
Court TV all the time has those.
This person's taking a blowtorch to the justice system like that. Obviously, less circumstances. But if you do that at a sports level commission, he's probably still going to get suspended. So the damage is done. So I almost want him to make more of a circus of it.
Here's what I figured coming out of that meeting. You ready? You can't suspend me because I'm retired.
Exactly. Right? Well, that was
wait, you know, these are how these guys think.
Yeah. He's like, I beat you to the punch. He's like, suspend me from what? I'm retired. And he goes, no, you're still like, it's still act like
they're gonna say, yeah, so that suspension will apply when you come back. Right? Like crazy.
I don't know. Yeah, that is. Well, how can they do that though? Like you don't only give him time. That's not like we suspend you for 4 fights.
It's like football. If you retire, then when you come back, you have to serve that suspension.
Right, the Ricky thing. Like with like Ricky Williams had to come back. Like it doesn't. But this is in boxing. There's no games. You know, like. Right. We can't say we suspend you for 7 fights. We suspend you for you got to go length. And so if you suspend a guy, what are you going to do? The only guy who got crushed by this that I remember by a sanctioning body, and this was crazy. The guy got completely blind. Nick Diaz for weed. They suspended him for 5 years. Basically,
I remember that. That was good times.
Basically ruined his prime for weed. And now weed is legal basically everywhere. They have sponsors all over the place. It was complete garbage with what they did to Nick Diaz. But unless you do something like that to Ryan Garcia, what is the suspension that's going to really hurt him? A year? Boxers take years off all the time.
Yeah,
Look at Conor McGregor. Again, he takes years off all the time.
He's also fake retired.
So, I mean, how long do you think they'll give him? Is this his first?
Yeah, this is his first offense. First
offense goes what, a year?
I guess it usually depends on like what you do. Like if you did something really serious, like loaded your gloves, they would give you like, you know, multiple years. But yeah, a tainted supplement, it feels like that's something that would be like 6 months to a year. I don't think they're going to give him like 3 years of not being able to box
for a year. That's what I'm saying.
You think he gets extra punishment for sass?
Yes, I did 3 days in jail for sass. And had a legitimate complaint.
It's a great counter.
Right? Like, wait a minute. The guy before me does weekend jail for his 5th DUI, and you could give me 10 days for a speeding ticket?
Yeah. You were going very fast, bro.
How fast?
He was going really fast. How fast were you going?
130?
How fast were you going, Ricky Bobby?
I don't know. I was looking at the road. I told the cop that. He said, do you know how fast you were going? No, sir. I had my eyes on the road.
So you
were in Sport Plus or Sport Mode? How about that?
So you not only hit sass mode on the pullover, but you hit it in the court. Mayor court.
That was honest. Like that was an honest answer. I don't know how to play court. All I know to do is play Leroy. That's it.
Did you hit triple digits?
Oh, yeah. What?
What was the car again?
A 300Z turbo.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, let me ask you this question. You know what? You know what I say to people? I say to people this. First of all, we know a whole bunch of 20 to 25-year-olds. I'm not trusting them with my kids. So stop with that, right? The other thing is, go pick your 20-something-year-old neighbor and give him a sports car. What is the first thing he's going to do?
See how fast that puppy goes.
Why am I like? Keep in mind. I never had a car in high school, right? I never had a car in college. That was my first car that I ever owned, and never really driven that much, right? So that was the first car I had as a 22-year-old.
I constantly think about like how much drag racing was going on in my old neighborhood to think about how many stupid speed humps there are that they had to deter this with just mounds. Like it happens in your neighborhood too.
Tobin, it's my neighborhood too. Everyone's doing donuts and stuff in their Dodge Chargers and stuff.
Leroy's got bad one. Leroy's got like these mounds around his neighborhood where you have to go, and then you have roundabouts like crazy in your little place. And I'm trying to think of like how much drag racing are they trying to deter in Davie because Bubba has to go fast on his four-wheeler.
Oh no, you can
or his
still
Dodge
hear him.
Challenger anyways that he stole.
You can still hear him because there's a straightaway right that street behind my house, right by the park. Is a straightaway,
and they're going after
it. You can hear it all. You can hear it at night, right?
We'll take a quick break. John Michaels from 680 the game in 680 the fan, in Atlanta. He joins us next. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. Getting you ready for Stanley Cup Final Game 6 tomorrow night. But we've been having some silly time with the NBA as well as we're getting.
No, we haven't. You have.
Yeah, we having a good
No,
time.
No, we're not. We're not. You guys are. I'm
Yo,
not.
Here you phony. The guy that you have been making more fun of over the last few years.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you open arms. Don't be a phony.
First round exit. Times change, dude. Times
Don't
change.
be a fraud.
Oh, you call it a fraud. You call it a fraud. I just call it a changed man.
A fraud. A changed man. All
right. Let's go out to the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop hundreds of Toyotas indoors at one of America's largest showrooms at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. I figure we get this man's opinion on this. John Michaels, mornings on 680 The Fan in Atlanta. John, South Florida guy, but of course, boots on the ground there in Atlanta. So we figured he's got the Heat tatted up. So this is a man, part of Heat Nation, but also, probably knows more about what is going on with this whole Hawks summer going in, because it's a weird summer for them. Yeah, John, like they got the number one pick out of nowhere. They seem to have this question about who the hell fits next to Trae Young anymore. So I guess going into it, before we dive into Trae Young to the Heat, like what do you think is going to happen with Atlanta this summer?
With the Hawks, expect mediocrity is what you can expect. I mean, you're talking about a franchise that passed on Chris Paul, a franchise that took Sheldon Williams and told everybody, hey, we're going to take him, traded away Luka Doncic, although I'm a big Trae Young fan, so I don't think that's as bad as people made it out to be. But the problem is they've overpaid, traded for DeJounte Murray, gave up 3 first-round picks for him. He's a solid guy and whatnot. But before we dive into this, Tobin, I got to ask you, Leroy, former NFL player, and I listen to you guys a lot when I'm driving home because I want to hear my Miami sports talk. Either you guys or Hochman and Crowder. And I noticed there's something with the former NFL players. I work with Brian Finneran, who played for the Falcons forever. Yeah. You guys love to just give us radio guys crap. And I noticed when we come back, you're calling Tobin phony and everything else. Tob, I got your back, bro. I got your back, buddy. Man. These NFL guys.
Thank you.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I would not allow this. You don't understand this dude. This guy has been on Trae Young. Oh, Trae Young, we made him yell pineapple. We did this. And now I come into work today and he's saying, hey, I'm kind of feeling this Trae Young thing. No.
That's a plan A, just like you got to be open to it.
If you were to say that, if you were to say, I'm done with him after you have supported him for all these years, I understand that. But you can't go the other way.
Why not?
Not in sport. You can't be a guy who has made fun of him, that garden gnome, his hair flaps. He's made so much fun of Trae Young over the years. And now he greets me this morning with, hey, how you doing? I'm warming up to Trae Young. That's how I'm doing. No.
Yeah, but this is what happens when you lose 4-1, and we got Boston down in Miami celebrating. That's what happened.
Yeah, but do you think Trae Young is going to help that?
100% he will help
No.
that.
Why does everybody think? I just see Trae Young getting caught up in a blender and getting pick and rolled to death with all of these big wings and these big point guards.
Yeah, but the difference is the Heat have a Bam Adebayo behind. They have a Jimmy Butler who actually wants to play defense. He's been in Atlanta where Clint Capella can't guard me. I mean, I'm 49 years old with bad Achilles and everything else. I think I could out jump Clint Capella. He's never had anybody to really help him. And I agree, Leroy, let's be real. The NBA is now all about pick and roll and setting up matchups. How about every now and then fight through a screen and stay on the guy that's supposed to be guarding you? And I think for Trae, maybe more than the defensive side, anything, I think he needs somebody to push him. I think there needs to be a culture aspect behind his game. Not to say he's been entitled in Atlanta, because he hasn't, but he has been a little bit. They made an Eastern Conference Finals back in 2021, and everybody patted him on the back. You're the greatest ever. And then the last couple of years, they've fired multiple coaches. They've tried to put different pieces around him, and there's been no accountability for him to be better in the one aspect that he's failed at. So that's where I'm with Tobin. I love Trae. I don't want him to leave Atlanta because I think he is somebody here that's a big draw. But if I can get my Heat back in the NBA Finals and Trae Young is the piece, Let's do it, and let's do it now.
Oh, and I should have known your feelings on this because Tobin, he searches the web.
That's not fair.
For feelings that are similar to his. And then they bring you guys on and railroad me.
That's not fair, dude.
I'm like, yes. So he's like, you know what? John Michaels loves Trae. I'm gonna get him on. Right?
Well, I mean, I just felt you were too dismissive about it yesterday. That's why. So I figured we get a man who does love Trae Young, who has seen Trae Young do big things. And I was like, what is the feeling over there, though, John? Like, do they feel like this is actually the end of the Trae Young era? Because like it's silly time right now, so everything's kind of out in the ether. Like, is there a thought that they're gonna break up him and DeJounte Murray and ship Trae? Go with the number 1 pick, rebuild. Like, what are the thoughts there of what they're gonna do?
You know what's crazy? The Hawks, when I say haphazard organization, multiple general managers, Landry Fields there, the owner's son's involved. I think it's 50-50 what they're going to do one way or the other. Because truthfully, I think if you want a guy to really build around, it's supposed to be Trae Young. You traded away Luka Doncic for him. He's a guy that's a walking 26-10 in his sleep on his worst day. But the other thought is, has it run its course? You know, you traded away, again, the 3 first-round picks for DeJounte Murray. So after this year, the Hawks have no picks. So they have to try to recruit. So the way that you recoup is either trade away your one asset that everybody wants in Trae Young, maybe trade away DeJounte Murray, who's not going to bring you the same haul in return, or you trade away the first overall pick in a draft that normally, if you had the first pick, everybody'd be clamoring to get these guys. But Alex Sarr, Risha Shea, Reed Shepard, nobody cares about these dudes. I think 50-50 whether Trae Young's going to be there or not. And I just think it's going to be how much of a package can they get in return. This is a guy that signed a 5-year, $215 million extension. So he's under contract for 3 more years at $40+ million per. So you're going to have to send back that kind of money to the Hawks, and they're going to want picks or young players because they need pieces to build around outside of Trae and DeJounte and whoever the hell they pick at number 1. It looks like the Risha Shea kid or the Donovan Clingan kid. Outside of that, they don't really have anybody that anybody cares about.
Can I interest you in the Tyler Herro?
So for personal reasons, no, hear me out. So,
you can't.
No. You got to hear me out on this one.
All right.
For personal reasons, my son is a 15-year-old basketball lover, and he loves the Heat like I do. If you heard me on Hawkman and Crowder, his Christmas gift, we came to Miami to go to a Heat game. He had never been to a Heat game in the Heat's house. So me and him flew down, went to South Beach, did all that stuff. His favorite player hanging on the wall, he patterns his game after, is Tyler Herro. I cannot have Tyler Herro leaving the Miami Heat, but I've cooked up a better package. Hear me out on this one.
Oh boy. Hear me out. Usually follows with
Terry
something
Rozier,
that
right. Duncan Robinson, whoever we pick at 15, because you can't trade the 15th pick until you make back for Trae Young. Can I interest you in that?
Trae or Terry Rozier.
Well, because Trae is going to take Rozier's spot. So that's where we are there.
For sure.
You see what I mean? So I get that. Man, see, the only problem I have with all of this is that I don't want to get rid of any scoring.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, there's been times that without Duncan Robinson, this team would have been done.
Cooked, yep.
And so I don't want to, and he's turned it around a little bit on the defensive end, but I do realize you got to give up something. Those 3 guys, how about this? I trade those guys. You give me Trae Young. I give you the 15th pick. You give me the first pick.
Mm-mm.
No? Because the draft is nothing. The draft is not that good. So it would sound, I'm a big Duncan fan simply because his evolution from just shooting threes to what he does now if not for him, the Heat wouldn't even been in the play-in.
Yeah, see, if I'm there, John, I actually don't mind the package that John throws. I don't think the Hawks say yes to that. Like, I don't feel like they're doing this by getting a guy who's a solid player in Terry and Duncan. I feel like you got to go for the youth of getting a Tyler Herro if you're going to do that, you know? Like, that's just the way I would see it going. Like, if the Heat could get that package going, yeah, you're talking about maybe the worst defensive backcourt in the history of basketball. But man, they could shoot. Oh my God. Him and Trae with Jimmy Bam, and I guess, you know, if you're keeping Jovic in that situation, yeah, that would be awesome.
Can the Heat really pull the trigger on that though? You know, because you're going into that conversation going, listen, Spo, we are gonna suck it. Right? Can you wait? Pat Riley calls, here's what he calls. He calls Spo and it says, hear me out. We're gonna trade for Trae Young, right? Like, can you sell that to Spo?
Why couldn't you? Because you know what? I think Spo cares about winning more than he cares about anything else. You know what? He reinvented himself after that first year of the big three, and they realized, hey, offensively, we stink. And now we're going to go small ball, and it's going to be pace and space and everything else. I think Spo could reinvent himself. I think you'd have a harder time selling it on Jimmy for 82 games a year that, wait a second, now not only do I have to cover up for Tyler Herro, but I got to cover up for Trae Young. I think in that scenario, Tyler goes to the bench and you bring in a cheaper, and I like to say cheaper, defensive-oriented backcourt mate to go alongside Trae Young. Somebody like Thabo Cephalosha used to be years ago. You know, he wasn't going to score 3 points, but he'd go lock somebody down. You bring somebody alongside that during free agency, and you tell Tyler, hey, we're going to put you back in the six-man role. You and Jaime go do exactly what you need to do there, and we try to get things done that way. Leroy, to your point, though, I don't think the Hawks will accept that. I think what they're looking for, honestly, if they do move a Trae Young, is a multitude of first-round picks. And that's going to be hard to come by for the Heat because they treat first-round picks like I treat Taco Bell. They just throw them away as fast as they can devour them. I mean, they're in and they're out. So I don't know if you got enough picks to make it happen. I think the best thing going for the Heat, if that were a scenario, you're looking at Trae Young, is that he doesn't really have a market around the NBA. It seems like for whatever reason, he's been vilified and folks don't like him. Makes no sense to me, but if that drives the price point down for a potential Heat reunion or a Heat union, I'd go for that in a heartbeat.
Well, yeah, like, so can you speak to that a little bit? Like, why do you think that is? I mean, we've heard like the John Collins stuff back in the day. Like he didn't seem to love playing with him, but you know, he does average a lot of assists. Like, what's the deal with that with Trae Young? Like, why is that the knock on him?
I think he's maybe pointed as a coach killer. I mean, you think about it. Lloyd Pierce was there. You have obviously the coach that they have now, and I'm drawing a blank.
Quinn Snyder.
Yeah, Quinn Snyder. You went and hired him, but they've already gone through 3 coaches. Nate McMillan was there for a little while. And I think a lot of it has to do with the effort. Like, you look and go watch the play-in game against Chicago. And I know they were getting blown out earlier. There's times that Trae Young doesn't even try. I mean, literally, it's just, I'm going to stand there and let an Alex Caruso or whoever blow by me. And I think that's part of it. And, you know, they've had multiple team meetings in Atlanta. John Collins spoke to some of that where he talked about they weren't necessarily getting along. And it just doesn't seem like, even though the numbers are great, that Trae has made players around him better. I don't want to say they're empty numbers, but if you can go 26-10 and nobody around you is better, maybe they are. Think about their only run in the postseason as well. The only time they had a run, you had Lou Williams, who was a 30-something-year-old vet coming off the bench. Danilo Gallinari at 30-some-odd years old, coming off the bench, helping them. They had veterans that could really corral Trae Young, and that's why I say someplace like Miami would be fantastic because you'd have that. I don't know how true it is that he's not liked, but think about it. No Olympic team, none. They don't even think about it. And he's been left off the All-Star team a couple of times. This year he made it as an alternate, but there were times that he's been left off. How do you average 26-10 in the NBA and nobody votes you in? That's a telling sign.
It is. I don't like. I get what everybody says about Trae. You immediately look at the numbers, 26-10, but that doesn't tell the whole story in basketball. Mm-hmm. We have this phrase, a looter in a riot, right? And so you have to figure out what is the impact and what will be the impact of those numbers with the Heat. Now, I'll say this. He will probably be more assist-oriented and maybe not score 26 a game, but his threat of pulling up from anywhere will have to free some guys up to do what they do inside. I can warm up to that. I'm just saying, on the other side, I just see him with a butt in his face going, oh no, help, like the whole time, because that's what the league has become now. We watch these playoffs, and every game, what do they talk about? Oh, they just going to run the pick and roll till they can get on Luka. They're going to run the pick and roll till they can get on somebody else. How is somebody going? You can't protect Trae from that unless you run a zone.
How much different is that, though, with Terry Rozier? I mean, I love Terry. I think I would have liked to seen him healthy in the playoffs.
Right.
But they seek him out. They seek out Tyler Herro. I mean, the same thing can be said pretty much anywhere. Indiana makes it to the Eastern Conference Finals and played about as much defense as we do. I mean, they didn't care about defense.
No, they need.
We could run fast. Let's run fast.
The Heat were playing in a different decade this year. It was awful to watch.
Dude,
it was putrid offense to watch. Like they
literally scored 80 points in 3 of the games against the Celtics.
That's what I'm saying, Leroy. Like, he's not my plan A. Like, obviously, I'd like Spida first or something like that. But like, if it doesn't work out, yeah, I feel like the Heat need to pivot and think, all right, well, what else is out there? Like, what's the next move if Donovan Mitchell does stay in Cleveland? Where else could they go? I just don't think you could turn down that offensive talent like that if that did become available and there was a reasonable deal like what we're talking about. I don't know if Atlanta says the Robinson Rozier and the pick this year and an extra pick, but like if they did like Tyler, even if you had to do something hard, like if you had to say like Tyler and Jaime for it. I mean, I think if you're the Heat, you got to talk about it. I really do. I think that's something you got to mull over.
Want to throw, man, that young talent, like you've been pretty good with your first round picks.
Yeah.
For the last few years. I don't want to I'm not willing unless it's a really good player that I know is going to be better than that to get rid of either Jovic or Jaime Jaquez. Right.
The hardest thing, Leroy, trust me, last year's finals run was electric. Being able to watch that with my son every night, and when they beat Boston in Game 7, I got tears in my eyes like I'm a 10-year-old because as you guys like to say, goosies galore for everything that was going on there. But this year was like watching a root canal. 8 games of that, and an awful play-in game, and a second awful play-in game. I can't do it again. As much as I love Tyler Herro, and I love him, he's one of my favorite players. As much as I love Jaime Jaquez and the potential in Nikola Jovic, if they run it back, that is going to be a really hard sell for everybody. Like, you can't run it back and say, hey, we picked, Rob Dillingham at number 15 or Isaiah Collier at number 15, and this is what we're going to be. Now, you got to shake the tree, and I think it's time, maybe not whale hunting, but you better be looking for a great white somewhere. You need something that's going to shake this thing up.
Mate, all that being said, who's in the worst spot right now? Atlanta might win the division with making one of the decisions that everybody scratched their head, right? You give a guaranteed $100+ million to a guy with an Achilles tear and then draft the quarterback in the first round.
Oh, my goodness. The Hawks are in a worse position than the Falcons. At least for the first time in 7 years, the Falcons have some sort of thought that they're going to make the playoffs. I mean, they did do some good things. Kirk's going to be a hell of a lot better than damn Desmond Ridder and Marcus Mariota, who we've had the last couple of years. But I am dumbfounded. Finn and I and Joe Ham, and we've got a big old show on in home team. All of us came in that Friday after they took Michael Penix and said, what in the blue hell just happened?
Yep.
If you would have took him at 27th in the first round, cool. You took a guy at number 8 who is, if all goes well, will not play a single damn snap in the next 3 years.
Until he's 30.
Right. We're going to have to give him a 5th-year option before we've ever seen the damn guy play football. What the hell are we thinking? I look at, and I love Terry Fontenot, our GM, but I'm like, Rich McKay must have had his hands in it. Something happened to take Michael Penix number 8 overall. It was nuts.
John, we appreciate the time, man. Thanks so much.
Hey, before we go, let's go Panthers. Let's get this one.
Yes!
I make a damn game 7.
Yes. Oh,
We'll take a quick break. Go follow John Michaels on social media at John Michaels U, as he is a big Canes fan as well. But we appreciate John. Go listen to him also on the Odyssey app at 680 The Fan in Atlanta. Appreciate the time, John. We'll take a break. Back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Tobin and Leroy. Let's get some cat talk here, brought to us by our friends over at Celsius. Hockey fans, don't sit this one out when it's game time. Make Celsius a part of your play and get that energy up. Game day is fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks, the official energy drink of
your Florida Panthers. Hey, I knew for a fact.
What's that?
You bring somebody in that says, hear me out. I'm like,
I didn't know what he was going to say. I didn't know what he was going to say.
What is this?
I didn't know what he was going to say, dude. I didn't know. He just reacted to the Trae Young trade yesterday on Twitter. I was like, hey, you want to talk about that? You love Trae Young. Everybody else thinks he stinks. So, that's journalism. I'm trying to get both sides.
Can I just say what kills an athlete in sports? It's not even their own doing.
Is it trade talk always? From sports talk radio hunks like us?
It's not that. It's the fact that we are so quick, and talking heads and television shows and leagues are so quick to ascend these guys to the top of this list or this list or this list that sometimes watching the sport, you get tired of hearing that guy's name. And nothing to do with what he has said or done, you begin having a dislike for that person because of how they put him up there. And Trae Young was that when he came out of college.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum is another example of that.
Well, he went to Duke. That's the thing.
Next, you know who's next on the thing?
Here's the thing, though. Let me just say something real quick, because this has been a very popular thing. Jason Tatum has not gotten hate. He has not gotten hate.
No.
But Jason Tatum has not been he has not been put on a pedestal. This guy has been the golden boy of the NBA.
But I'm saying he's
walked in the league.
What I'm saying is that he didn't put himself there. That people have put him there, and so you have a dislike for a player because you're tired of hearing about him, or you're tired of hearing what they say about him, right? And you start finding, for example, Skip Bayless's hate for LeBron was basically because they named him King James coming out of high school.
Chosen one.
The chosen one. And Skip Bayless attacked him every chance he got.
That's my guy.
But that's how it goes. So we sometimes, and I don't know if this is the case with Trae, but I know that when Trae first came into the league, we got a lot of Trae.
Yep.
Right?
Not really.
Yes.
Not where I was at in the Northeast. We weren't saying anything about Trae Young. So
I'm not saying like the guy got to an Eastern Conference Finals even before Luka, because there was a lot of a Luka and Trae Young debate.
I don't remember those debates at all. That's why.
Well, you also made up some fake version of the Celtics that I've never.
That is a true thing. Maybe you should open up your eyes.
I gotta be honest with you. Maybe you're the one who's a little bit under a rock there, Trevor. I gotta be honest with you. Maybe you gotta tune into some other things, because you haven't heard of Trae Young, who's been one of the most famous stars in the NBA over the last 5 years, and you made up a Celtics fan base contingent no one's ever heard of.
That's because you live under a rock.
Let me tell you something.
You live under a rock.
You live under a rock. You live under a rock.
You live under a rock.
Green Teamers. It sounds like somebody who goes out there and does secret missions for the Army. Green Teamers.
No, it's not.
It's like
you're a loser. You're a loser. Open up your eyes.
Took out Bin Laden, the Green Teamers. That's a part of the Celtics fan.
Wait, he made it sound like a group that came in out of the water with eye black on.
Yeah, I was expecting Jaylen Brown to walk off the plane down here in Miami with night vision goggles. The Green Teamers. But they're all O'Keefes and O'Malley's. That's like Agent O'Keefe. Yeah, what do you got, Agent O'Boyle? Hey, let's rub it in Miami's face a little bit more.
I'm glad he's doing it. Maybe you can do it in front of Pat Riley's front yard too, so you guys wake up for once.
Actually, I would like that. As if it leads to good, if this evil infestation leads to good, I'll be all for that. Whatever.
I hope.
I would imagine he might be on the West Coast right now.
Can I just say,
are you sure? You sure? Maybe he's in
Malibu,
Mexico.
dude.
In
no
your
one lives in
efforts,
Malibu anymore. Everyone's selling their houses these days. Come on.
Tobin, in your efforts to get quality players to the Miami Heat and make trades, could you not be so much of a fraud? Like, don't go back to the guys you've trashed for 5 years.
I already have a cleansing year. I have my limits. Like, I don't want to trade for Joel Embiid, and I don't want to trade for Paul George. Like, I have my limits. Trae Young, yes, I have made fun of him for what Gabe Vincent did to him. I remember him whining like a baby when he was like, "Oh, the Heat are being too physical," and Bam was like, I remember Trae Young said after one of the games,
"You're ripping him when he's not going to get back on defense, anyways. Guaranteed. Mark the tape right now. I'll do that."
We'll see. Hard to say. If
it happens, hard to say. Tape right now. If he does not get back on defense, you're going to rip him immediately.
Look, I got to keep people accountable. That is the case. Like, I can't just
but can I ask you a question? If you know these facts beforehand, why do you get mad when they happen when the person's here?
I don't understand what example you could use for me.
If you know, if what Trevor is saying is true, and you know that he's going to be complaining and not getting back on defense, then when it actually happens, can you be mad?
Sure. Of course.
Maybe you know it's coming.
Doesn't matter. You should have bought into Heat culture. You guys think I'm always going to be boxed in on this, and I'm not.
No,
anyway,
thing is done. Let's be honest.
Let's listen. I want you to do something. You're very excited being on the show. You got to calm down.
I'm just gonna lay out takes like Mike Felger, anyways.
But not good ones. You've gone up here.
Like, I'm gonna be like Mike Felger.
You've
here.
gone up
Just
here like
takes.
You've gone up here like standing against a slider. Like, not a lot of success right now, dude.
No,
yeah. Hit a slider unlike the Marlins right now, anyways.
Well, I mean, that's not a very high bar. Worst team in the league.
They just won the last two. Can we do this after they lose 5?
They're the worst team in the National League.
I know, but still, they won last 2.
They're 4-12 this month.
Yeah, they won last 2.
It could be the Oakland A's are going to go to Sacramento, then go to Vegas. Anyways, it doesn't even have a stadium yet.
Anyway, cat talk. Here we go. So there's
how we feeling? How we feeling?
We're feeling good.
I want a game 7. I want entertainment for content for all of us.
Paul Maurice says at practice that Ekblad's fine. He's just getting a day off, so he's just going out there. He says nothing he need to be out there for today, so nothing to worry about there. He is going to keep Oliver Ekman-Larsson on his top power play line because of the success that he had last game. Their power play has stunk.
That's what happened to the Dallas Stars. Their power play fell off a cliff when they played the Oilers. Just can tell you that.
Can I just say this?
Yeah.
If I'd rather not have an advantage. I get more miserable when they go on an advantage.
Yeah, I love this idea. Like, you want him to go up there like a NFL coach, just be like, decline.
The only thing that's ever happened with me watching these guys is they give up goals when they have the power play. I don't want a power play.
Are we sure you don't have a prop bet for shorthanded goals, Leroy?
No.
There may be some point shaving going on by Brandon Montour. I don't know what's happening here, but it has been infuriating to see for sure.
It's like hopefully Bob is probably back there going again.
Yeah. As far as those Conn Smythe odds right now, you have a new favorite in town. There's a new sheriff in town. McDavid, he's -200. Barkey, he is plus 300, 3-1 for Barkov. Sergey is around 8-1 right now, so he's fallen back. But some money has come in on Kachuk because he's now down to he's here to plus 3,000. You think a Kachuk sneak in there, Leroy, with a hat trick and a clincher? Could he?
No, because if he had a hat trick and they win like 3-1, they'll give it to Bob.
Okay, they could give it to McDavid. They've given it to a loser player before.
I don't like that.
Well, tell that to Gene Sebastian Jaguar and Ron Hextall, please.
Do you mean the losers?
Yeah, they've both have lost and won.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that trophy.
Can I just say this?
Like,
if I lose the Stanley Cup, I don't want the little trophy. I don't.
It's a good trophy to have.
No, it is a nice resume builder, but you know how seething it must be. Like, if he goes out there and like legitimately like climbs up this point chart and is like talking maybe all-time record, but he loses. It's just like, I would be so infuriated by myself. Like, the historic greatness that I brought, and I was that close, especially if this got to a 7. If he got to a 7 and, he's knocking on the door of Gretzky. He's like, guess what, dude? I'm on top, but you still didn't win the cup. That would be one of the most gut-punching feelings, I feel like, as a great.
He didn't, but here's the deal. Here's the deal. Wayne Gretzky told the story. He didn't win his first time either. In fact, he lost what? He got skunked
to the Islanders, yeah.
He lost 4-0 or 4-1. So
Did he
Like,
end up winning the Conn Smythe that year?
No.
No.
Like that's what I'm talking about.
That's
The Islanders were so dominant in the 80s. Come on.
I'm talking Connor McDavid is able to, as he puts it, drag the Cats. If he's able to drag the Cats back to Sunrise again, it gets to a game 7, and he's the reason for it, which he probably would be because of how he's playing right now. And he wins the Conn Smythe.
This has
but
happened
loses the Stanley Cup. It would be great, a great honor and historic. But like, you don't think he would look at that trophy every day and think to him, just be haunted?
Dreisaitl's hurt, by the way. This has happened to Edmonton before in 2005 and 6. I know you guys were probably watching Heat title going down.
Yeah,
the Oilers came back
you
from
ever hear
3.
Dwayne Wade?
Yeah, I heard him. Don't worry. He has a better broadcasting career than Paul Pierce. Anyways, let's be honest.
Not a high bar.
It's not a high bar. But the Edmonton Oilers did that, and they lost in 7, 3-1, and they were out of the playoffs from 06-07 to 15-16. They were spiraling, were tanking all the time.
I like the idea though of Leroy saying like every time that he looks at the trophy, he just goes Draisaitl.
Right.
You know he's German, right?
I do know that. Him and Dirk Nowitzki.
Yes.
Who, Draisaitl?
Jan Draisaitl is German.
Unz.
Stop it with that. Dude.
Leroy texted me today. He goes, "Hey, I can't come to the studio today. My neighbor's in Germany."
Is it because Leroy didn't want to see me? He's going to choke me out, probably.
No. It was just because apparently his.
I had a shirt to give you from my boys at 95.7 The Game, who are both big time Michigan fans, anyways.
Oh, okay.
Michigan fans everywhere they go, dude.
Yeah, shout out to Nahagian. He has "I Hate Ohio State" T-shirts. I have one. I've been waiting to give it to you, anyways.
He's like, yeah, I gotta go home. My neighbor in Germany. So I hit him on a text with, "Once Leroy helped me with my house," please.
And I'm like, he's not German.
I like the idea of you living next to a
Is he Sweden
German.
or Finnish? How about that?
It's all the same.
You ready? You ready?
Oh,
African.
All right.
No, really. Like. Wait. Here's the worst part, Trevor. Tobin's met them.
I didn't know which neighbor it was, dude. You just said
other
neighbor.
black ones.
Well,
Gosh.
Get together, Tobin. Come on. Use those context clues. Did we not learn that in South Florida school?
wasn't context. He just put Germany. I went Unz.
No. This is a conversation at 9 a.m. with Tobin. That's what, how can, before the show even starts, I'm so mad at him. Oh, God.
Take a break. Back after this. All right, welcome back. Tobin and Leroy here with you. Take you up until 2 o'clock here. Got a little Goosies. No Goosies coming up later on this hour. My favorite Thursday game. And we'll get to it. So you got your Panthers coming at you tomorrow night, game 6. They just wrapped up their short little practice and now can venture off into the great north and hopefully close this puppy out and make Canada very sad. But obviously it is frustrating being where they're at right now, where they were up 3-0 and then dropped to. It's only been done 4 times before, Leroy. But you'll forget about all that as long as they close this puppy out and raise Lord Stanley and get that going. So we have that we're getting into. But Udonis Haslem been playing some UD today. UD's been on ESPN, Leroy. And today they were doing bold takes on Get Up, aka Jet Up. And Alan Hahn, who does work for MSG, Nick's broadcast. Ugh. And he was giving his bold prediction, which Udonis Haslem did not like, because his bold prediction was that Jimmy Butler's time in Miami is done. And would you like to hear how Udonis Haslem reacted to this, Leroy?
Yes, I heard it.
Here was this morning on Get Up, Udonis Haslem reacting to Alan Hahn's hot take.
Jimmy Butler's days in Miami are over. You heard Pat Riley talk.
You all right?
And PatRiley said something
Okay.
that caught everybody's attention about Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I'm worried about you, Dave.
And one other thing.
There's more.
It's not just that. It's also Daryl Morey is laying in the weeds. And you remember the mistake that the Sixers made. Daryl Morey might want to fix that mistake, bring Jimmy Butler back to Philly, and put together a band that should have been together years ago.
Can't happen, right? The Heat can't let Jimmy Butler go, right?
No.
Are you allowed to comment on this? I've lost track.
I can't really comment on that, right? If I had to guess, I mean, I don't want to talk about it.
I'm just reading.
I don't want to talk about it. I would just leave that one alone.
I know there are some things you're not allowed to comment on, and I don't want to get us in trouble for tampering, so we'll leave it.
But I will be calling Jimmy after the show. Okay. That's all I'm saying.
Man. They put our guy in an awkward spot.
They put him in it's a terrible spot, right?
Terrible spot to be in.
But I will say this. He handled it well.
Yeah.
Right?
But, do you think, like, if they actually did have a phone call today, do you think, because Beauty has said, I'm going to stay at the Florida State line. Like, I'm not letting Jimmy Butler leave.
Yeah.
I'm not letting Jimmy Butler leave.
Listen, and keep in mind, you know why I believe him? Because he went through the D-Wade thing.
Yeah. Yep. He was there. That was,
I love the way people here's what I love about fans, organizations, everybody. Oh, he's a Heat lifer. There's only been one Heat lifer, and that's UD.
20 years.
That's it. Everybody else, well,
everybody
the money made you less of a lifer.
Right?
Wait.
Well, you're not wrong. No, you're not wrong. And everybody that you look up into that rafters, every one of them had an awkward ending.
Right.
Every one of them had an awkward ending and some kind of a falling out at times with Pat Riley. Even Chris Bosh wasn't happy that the organization wasn't letting him play. He's like,
right,
but I feel fine. And they're like, no.
Right.
It all every single one of them. So it's a weird thing that we're so quick to do that. Like, I mean, even some of the young guys. Oh, I could see him, and he's going to be a Heat lifer. Really? Because soon as a big name comes up, you trade him. Ugh, seeing all these pictures of Tatum.
So what is a Heat lifer?
What's a Heat lifer?
Yeah.
UD.
Mm-hmm.
Harrison's.
And Pat. And Spo.
Did Chris Quinn play for anybody else?
Well, that's not because. Stop.
Lifer's a lifer until he takes the Cavs job. But that's kind of like graduating. It's not like,
right?
Like, hey, what do you want me to do, Spo? Unless you were gonna pull up Brad Stevens and go into the front office. I don't know what you want me to do. Got to go get my job.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm seeing these photos that are really annoying me of Jason Tatum walking around Miami with the Larry O'Brien trophy. And I'm very confused because, like, I don't know what's real and what's not real. Because did I not just see videos of Joe Mazzulla yesterday in Boston with the Larry O'Brien trophy? How many Larry O'Brien trophies are there? What do they have? A stunt Larry O'Brien trophy?
They have one that travels, and then they put one in the one that goes into the case of the team.
So one of them has a fake.
No.
Or you're just telling me there's legit 2 trophies?
And one gets passed around, and one gets and one stays in the. You put it. I think that's how it works. I know you get a replica. I think the team gets a replica, but it's not like the Stanley Cup. I don't think. I'm not sure.
I don't know, but he is walking around. This is allegedly going around the internet right now. This is him in Miami with the trophy, and I mean. I'm just disgusted by this. What are you gonna do, man? Hey! Are you seeing this down there? Get Trae Young on the phone.
No, really? Like you're so desperate.
Well, I don't like this.
That you mean?
No -1 here.
You're willing to sign a Travelocity guy.
That's not. It could be a great marketing play. You know, put him on the Carnival cruise. You know.
See,
what about this?
I would have a problem with this if you were a fan of Trae Young the whole time.
Why can't I appreciate something in the
No.
You know who I wasn't a fan of? No. I'll tell you what that happened with. I'll tell you who that happened with. Kevin Love. I wasn't a big fan of Kevin Love. Like, nice guy, but I wasn't like, I didn't know the intricacies. Remember, I used to make fun of that stupid pass that he does. But then I got to see it in action. I was like, you know what? That is pretty awesome.
I'm starting to believe that you have problems with people and you really shouldn't.
I don't really know.
You should have never had a problem with Kevin Love.
I can't help the way I feel when I watch sports. Like, I just am what I am.
Oh, wait, what did he do to you?
Oh. He was on the same team as LeBron in Cleveland.
Wait, so let me get this straight. And correct me if I'm wrong. You had a problem with Kevin Love, and you have no idea why.
Oh, I know why.
Why?
Because he played with LeBron in Cleveland.
Really?
That's really it. Yeah, that's it. I mean, if you were associated with LeBron, I was hosing you down no matter what. It's the only time I was ever mad at Dwayne Wade in my life. I'm like, you chose to go there?
Oh, but now you're not mad at Dwayne no more.
No, I love him. He's my favorite. Come on. The best. Mm-hmm. As soon as he came back that year, I was like, oh, he's back. The Vice jersey. It was delightful. But I didn't appreciate Kevin Love. Then he came down here. Appreciate him. Kyle Lowry. I had to really talk myself into that one. Still not even really.
But I see, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
I feel like you had to talk yourself into Trae Young.
Yeah. Well, Kyle,
and that's the problem. That I don't want to trade a whole bunch of assets for somebody you got to talk yourself into.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I had to talk myself into Kyle Lowry. And, people could say, Kyle Lowry's a champion. He's a winner. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, right? But, I'd see all these crazy stats. Like Eric Reed mentioned, Kyle Lowry's now the 8th most makes from three-point land in his career. And I'd be like, how's that possible? He shoots 3 times a game. Has he been doing this his whole career? Because how come when he came down here, he shot 4 times a game? And he had like these incredible landmarks that he would be hitting. And it'd be like, this is imagine he'd be number 1. He'd be past Steph Curry if he shot. Because on the Heat, he's shooting 3 times. So I had to be like, oh, what do you love about Kyle Lowry's game? The dude takes a mean charge. Great. I need some buckets, dude.
So,
or I need like Jovic to be like Nowitzki this year.
So
one or the other.
I would rather Jovic be Nowitzki,
of course,
than have Trae Young get caught up in the spin cycle 8 times a game.
You don't feel like that he can unlock some things?
You can't. You know what I would like him to unlock from Trae Young? About 6 inches. Can they unlock that? Can they unlock height?
Jason, let me tell you something right now.
Can they get the grande instead of the vente or whatever they call it?
Does anybody
little one?
Does anybody recognize these plants? Because I want this place boycotted. Whoever served Jason Tatum dinner today or lunch, wherever the hell he is with this fake alleged Larry O'Brien
Are
trophy.
they still going at it?
Yeah, I think the parade's tomorrow, so I think they got to leave. He's probably getting like one more breakfast and then hitting MIA.
It is tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Ugh, disgusting. I won't be tuning in for that
Trevor, even if you know, act like you don't know.
one. He knows.
I will know because I get to watch NBC Sports Boston because I get to see Zolik and Bertrand complain about everything.
Ugh. Anyway, take a break. Back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM, take you up until 2. Let's get to the mixed bag, brought to us by Broward Health. Well into your future. Oh, hello, Jennifer.
Hello, Jennifer. You almost made the last hour.
Yeah, whoa. What happened?
There's a lot going on. I apologize.
Stop Scooby today? What happened?
No, I've got.
Ooh, that's
stuff.
a bird.
No, that was my microphone. Sorry.
No, you know, if it was a bird, it wouldn't make a sound around her.
It made a sound. That's why it went. I thought it was
last breath. That was the last breath.
All right. We'll start off the mixed bag here, Leroy. So, Miami Heat going into the offseason, but one guy who apparently has a lot of work to do in the eyes of Udonis Haslem is Luka Doncic. It was UD on Luka after stinking up the joint and getting his ass kicked by Boston.
Right now, to this point, everything has come easily to Luka. We see him averaging 30. We see him almost doing a triple-double. He's leading his team in the playoffs in rebounds, assists, and scoring. He's the only person to ever do that in the playoffs, to lead the whole playoffs in rebounds, assists, and scoring. So we're witnessing greatness, and he's not in his best shape. He has to be challenged. Nobody has challenged Luka yet off the basketball court, working on his championship habits. This is where Jason Kidd comes into play. This is where that championship habit that Jason Kidd has, playing the Olympics, these are the things that Luka needs to work on. Not the basketball things that most 25-year-old guys need to go in the gym and lock themselves in the gym. Luka needs to lock himself outside the gym and work on his habits and his skill set.
One could argue that, though, as soon as they took his beer away, he wasn't playing as good.
That was a meme all over the internet.
I mean, once they took his beer away, Luka was sad. He don't play as good.
Hey, wouldn't it be something if he would have took that beer and put a muscle milk in his hand?
You have told that to Michael Finley anyways.
Listen, can I just say this? Like, the problem with sports right now, right? They did this. They went over this yesterday, and I don't look at the age of the guys that finally started winning championships. And now we see guys coming into the league that are so good so early that we eliminate some of the steps. Like we think, oh, he's this good, he should be there now.
Yeah, it's like
right?
what they did with Anthony, like they were ready to make
Exactly. There's and even the great ones have gone through trials and tribulations trying to get there. Jordan didn't win until he was 26. How old was LeBron? 26.
I think he was 26.
Right. Luka's 25 years old.
D-Wade was 24.
Well, yeah, it happens, right? I'm not like, but for the most part,
does feel like it's overlooked though a little bit, does it not?
Right, but here's the problem: we overlook it because how good he is, and we exclude the steps. We exclude some of the growing up you have to do playing the sport. I don't care how good you are. Like before age 26, we didn't call Michael Jordan the greatest. You see what I'm saying? We called him a really good basketball player with no chip.
Speaking of, by the way, I don't know what's going on in this whole Euros right now, Leroy, the soccer tournament that's going on. But today it was Serbia versus Slovenia.
Ooh.
And apparently late equalizer for Serbia against Slovenia. You want to know who hit the equalizer? The guy's name?
Who?
Luka Jovic, dude. Now, that's a tandem I want.
Right.
Also, I think Goran Dragic is there. I saw him on his Instagram. He had to be so pissed. Because that dude takes his soccer seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Isn't that who got Jimmy into it?
I don't know. I think so. They used to, they were like Jimmy had I remember the first year in the locker room, Jimmy was wearing like a Slovenian national jersey.
Yeah.
Of from their soccer club. So he might have had a piece of it. I'm not sure. But then Jimmy became friends with Neymar. I didn't need Goran anymore.
Right. So so I get everybody wanting to get on Luka and UD's 100% right. But you also didn't hear UD say like he should already be there. Right? He's like Luka is ahead of in some aspects of his game.
as far as the actual basketball stuff.
Yeah.
Now he's got to learn how to be a consummate pro and all the other stuff, taking care of your body, getting your body ready, and things of that nature.
So another part of the mixed bag, Leroy. So Tom Pelissero of NFL Network, he was on the Rich Eisen show yesterday, and he said that a lot of owners, Leroy, are starting to make some noise about having a max contract for quarterbacks because the numbers are getting too out of hand. Like Joe Burrow is accounting for 25% of the Bengals cap, and that owners are looking at this and saying, hey, it's getting too crazy. We got to change something here with the quarterback contracts that are going out there. You feel like this is going to be something that pans out. Now, apparently a lot of owners are also bucking against this because, well, they've already paid their quarterbacks. So if
Nope. Absolutely not.
no shot this happens.
You know why? Because for the same reason why a running back can't make any money, you ain't saying, oh, that guy's career shorter, he should be getting paid more.
Yeah.
Right? Why you only want to limit one way? So no, it is what it is. The market is the market. Ain't that right, Tua?
That's the words.
And so
Tua's right, by the way.
Right.
You know, like
But
Tua
they
didn't get more wrong after he
wait.
said that, and he saw Trevor Lawrence get the deal that he did.
Who has the shortest career in football, in sports? The running back.
Yeah, dude.
Shouldn't they be getting paid more because they play less? And
Yep.
no owner has stepped up and said, you know what? We should pay these guys more. They don't play as long. Has anybody said that?
Or you could just help yourself and like not pay Daniel Jones $40 million.
Oh, I
Be
know.
like,
Here, as long as there's franchises, there's going to be stupid franchises.
There's going to be bad
and
decisions.
Stupid things. And those are the guys that say, we paying them too much. No, you are paying your guy too much because he ain't worth it.
This is why I can't stand this, because this is when like things come out in leagues and then you can't even understand the rules anymore. Like this whole second apron thing that the NBA's got to deal with. It's like, why do you have to put more trap doors to punish teams to make sure it's extra bad if you make a bad decision? I don't understand this.
Because
who lets these things get through?
Here's the great thing about the NBA. Keep in mind, if an owner wants a championship bad enough, he don't give a rat's ass about the salary cap. Because Golden State, Miami, they blew right through that thing when they were on their run.
I'll tell you what's going to be interesting, though. Like, if, you know, you can think giving a max contract can be a good thing. But here's the thing: what happens when you put a max contract, then everybody expects a max contract.
Oh,
and then it's like one of these
guys
things
that don't.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, you got to max out Justin Fields. And it's like, what?
He's one
What
of
did we just do?
Because he's one of 30.
One of 30. Yeah, sorry. Give it to me. Huh? Did you see Le'Veon Bell ripping Justin Fields yesterday?
Why?
There was some videos of him throwing routes and Le'Veon Bell, but just basically went, woof, pretty late on those.
Well, I mean, like, it's June.
Yeah, but he was throwing against nobody.
It's still like, okay. Well, maybe he got to work on some things. Like, you understand? You're filming practice. It's called practice for a reason. So you can work on your skill. So do you expect every practice to be perfect? I love the way we watched practice. These reporters and everybody go to practice and say, oh, he had a rough one. Yes, so he could get ready for the game.
Counterpoint, though, it's not a reporter. It's a Steelers great talking
He
about
should
the
know
Steelers
better.
quarterback.
He should
Well,
know better.
Isn't that, wouldn't that be concerning? Like
No.
if you went and said,
No.
Tua, woof, like I would be concerned.
No.
You know what you're
No.
seeing?
No. You know why? Because it's June. He is getting ready for the season. I don't understand. Like, I remember a coach telling me one time in Baltimore, I went up there, flew up there to see him because he was, you know, they had just gotten the staff together. And he say, oh, I want to work you out. I'm like, it's March. Oh, don't worry. Just want to see where you at. I say, I'm going to tell you where I'm at. Nowhere. So we go out and work out. I go to do half of it. Like he working me out like I would in July or June. So I stopped. Like, what? I'm not embarrassing myself out here with you. And so he said, you need to be in better shape. And I said, not in March. It's March.
Le'Veon Bell also tweeted out this morning, wake and bake Duh.
So that's the guy you listening to. See, that's the guy you listening to. I can see it right now.
Dope anyway.
Woof. Them throws are terrible. Go back to sleep, take a nap, and then you.
What were you doing there?
And then now he got us on. He got us on our show, and then he goes, "Oh, wake and bake." Do you like you?
No.
Anything?
It's not wake and bake. It's wake and bake. Duh.
Oh, that's the reasons why you fell for it?
No, that's what he put. Like, it's the most obvious thing. That's how he's doing. He's going about his day.
All right.
All right. I'm sorry, Le'Veon. He does not accept your football analysis of Justin Fields.
No, it's dude. I don't want. Look, I realize there's nothing to do right now. Okay, to all your people out there, I realize there's nothing to do. Okay, and y'all want any tidbit of football information that you can get, right? But in practice, if a guy doesn't have a good day, that's the point.
Dade South
You
says
practice to get better.
Dade South makes a great point. In the spring training game, you made fun of Curtis Granderson for stepping on his glove.
No, I didn't make him for being a bad baseball player. I made him look crazy for doing something ridiculous. That was ridiculous. So if Justin Fields was running or went to throw and stepped on his shoelace and fell on his face, okay, I'm all in. Granderson playing baseball forever, went to catch a fly ball and stepped on his glove and fell on his face. How is that not funny?
I mean, you're making fun of I feel like in that case, you're not really making fun of his talent. You're making fun of him. He's looking a little old.
Exactly.
A little long in the tooth.
I'm making fun of the act, not of the talent. But it's like, holy smokes, dude. Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yep.
How do players get better?
Wake and bake, duh.
See what I deal with? Dude, see what I deal with? See, it is.
It's easy.
And John Michaels, here's the amazing thing, right? He only gets little bits and pieces of your ass. You like this all the time, and everybody wonder why I'm so mad at Tobin. I said, because y'all only getting a little piece of it.
Take it up with your German neighbor, dude.
Again, I was mad at him at 9 o'clock, an hour before the show.
Won't see me out. Take a break. Final hour coming up after this.
WQA.
By Bristol Myers.
Welcome back, you rascals. Tobin and Leroy here with you.
Y'all don't know nothing about the microphone fiend.
I was a fiend.
Take you guys up until 2. You're streaming live on YouTube and Twitch. Miami 560 WQM is the channel. You guys can get in on the chat there.
I don't know if they want to get in on the chat.
I disagree, dude.
Because you have gone out of your way to make my Thursday not enjoyable. Started this morning. Every avenue you had, and you brought in people who have your sentiments.
Yep.
Which was like, I knew something was up when I heard, hear me out. What? Hear me out. He said 2 things that caught me off guard. Hear me out, and I got the Goosies. I'm like, what?
He's trying to make himself feel welcome. Friend of the show now.
He's always welcome.
Let's get to our headlines, brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks. Dude, I can't wait till tomorrow.
Why?
I'm just like...
Oh, you're talking about the game?
Yes. I need to get this over. Plus,
how are you doing tomorrow? How are you doing tomorrow? Are you doing...
Dude,
you doing liquor at the hot tub? What are we doing?
I'm gonna do the hot tub, but here's the problem. Fonz brought some amateur sports watchers over, and they were all watching outside with me, and hearing them complain and talk about the game, I had to get out of the jacuzzi. I'm like, these guys don't know what they're talking about.
They took you out of the comfort of your own jacuzzi?
No. Plus, I was waiting for them to turn it around so much I start seeing spots. So that was also another reason to get the hell out.
Okay.
I was like,
you got to watch out with that.
And listen, I was in there for a minute. I drank all my juice in my cooler.
It's a Friday. Listen, you got nothing to do the next day.
Huh?
You got nothing to do the next day.
What do you mean?
Celebrate into the night.
No. I got golf.
What kind of juice are you drinking, huh?
No, I'm not drinking. No alcohol.
You scheduled golf the day after a Stanley Cup. We gotta drink. We gotta drink our asses off.
I golf.
What if the
every
people
Saturday and Sunday I get up at like 4:30 to golf?
People are gonna hit the streets of Davie on horseback with pots and pans.
No, they're not. They listen.
Nobody does the pots and pans.
Besides the arena.
Well, they were gonna do it here by.
Besides the arena being down the street.
Yeah.
I don't think not many people in my area know that they play hockey there.
Dude, there's definitely going to be some people on horseback going to celebrate this.
Yeah.
Why would you have a horse, Davey, if you were going to go down Flamingo Road with it?
No, they
pots and pans. You clang horseshoes,
dude. You live in a different. We have a regular park, and then we have a horse park.
Yep.
Yep. And then we
here
have
in Miami, they're getting the pots and pans ready.
Oh yeah, for sure. People will be spilling out, but man, I mean, Davey, that's where the party's gonna be at, right at Griff's.
Griff's.
You ever been inside of Griff's?
No.
Why? Oh, what? I don't know.
You good?
You know why?
No, I don't. Why?
Okay.
Schmitz says the parade is going to end at Grand Lux. Let me tell you something, dude. If you did do the parade route of the Sawgrass Mall, that's a long ass parade. I'm tired walking around the Sawgrass Mall.
That's a bad parade route already.
You get your steps in if you
First
did that.
of all, it's got to go. Is it? I tell you what, it probably is going to end by the Sunrise Civic Center because they got like a little.
You know what? I don't want to even bring this up. This is bad mojo. We've gone too far.
Trevor, put those fingers away. Are you against us? Are you with us? What's going
No,
on?
I want a game 7. I want content.
Chaos.
I want content. That's why.
He wants chaos.
You're lucky I can't mute you.
Please do. Why don't you put a tape on my mouth, please?
Oh, what did you say? The green machine? Like
no, no, I think that was
that's a cartoon back.
Isn't
in
the
day.
Green Machine the Jets? Isn't that what they call them?
No, the Green Machine is the jail.
Texas.
And no, that's the people in jail from
that's North Texas.
North Texas. Yeah, Sinbad.
Oh yeah.
You guys are called the Green Teamer.
You know who else is in that? Scott Bakula was the quarterback.
Scott Bakula. Of course, you need an athlete. You got to get Scott Bakula. That's
what
you
get Michael Strahan. He went to North Texas.
No, but wait, I'm talking about the Green Machine from the Adam Sandler movie. the remake with Cheeseburger and what's the jail movie where they play football?
Longest Yard.
Longest Yard. That's the Green Machine.
That's the Mean Machine.
That's the Mean Machine, but we'll take it.
Oh, okay.
Close.
Close.
It's close. It's close.
All
Goonies were fire.
Wrong machine. Marlins are off today. They'll be back in action tomorrow.
They've been off for the last month. Why are we all of a sudden announcing?
They had the weird afternoon game to close out a series, then an off day. So, Marlins get to enjoy themselves a little bit.
Today's travel day, right?
No, they're home. They're hosting the Mariners tomorrow.
All right.
So they get to.
Are they going to play it at 6:10? Are they going to move it?
7:10 tomorrow's first pitch. They did that already. They did that for game
when it was a home game.
Well, no, this is a home game too, but they're sitting.
No, I'm saying when the Panthers were home.
Yeah. I don't know how many people. I think they were just trying to avoid, like, hey, if anybody wants to tune in to see us, we're here. So if you want a pregame and you don't want to see Steve Levy for a few minutes, you guys want to watch Bruhan, go ahead, tune in.
They actually won that game.
I know. Bad vibes. A lot of people say, hey, you don't want this. You don't want the too much. You don't want a 305 parlay. Although it's 954. But anyway, also story out of Clearfield County, Pennsylvania. Police have charged a man for selling moonshine out of his father's tire and repair shop.
Really?
Is that really the worst that could happen?
Apparently, there it is. Some states it's not. You can't sell moonshine, and there's a limit on.
There's people that go to states specifically for moonshine.
I know. Tennessee,
West Virginia too.
Yeah, dude. You ever watch Moonshiners?
Hey, let me tell you something. You know a guy making some good shine if he ain't got no teeth.
Stephen Scaife II is accused of selling.
Wait. Say it again.
Stephen Scaife II of Hootsdale is accused. Sounds like a fake story.
Right.
Is accused of selling moonshine out of a tire shop to members of the Pennsylvania State Police multiple times last year. Troopers said on March 10th at 3 p.m. that they arrived at the Scaife Affordable Tire and Auto Repair Shop where they met Scaife's father. Troopers noticed a complaint as they asked for 2 caramel apple moonshine. Scaife's father went to the garage and returned with the quarts, with the quart jars. His father said that he needed to text Scaife to see how much they cost and told troopers that he was 50% owner with the son of the moonshine business.
So why did only the son get arrested?
The moonshine was taken in as evidence. I don't know. Maybe the business was under his name.
Wait. Whoa. The business, if it's illegal, it's not a cult.
Well, but you can't sell moonshine out of a tire shop.
I understand.
You gotta have a liquor license.
But how come only the son got arrested?
Maybe the father was lying.
Oh, okay. So let me get
this. The father just wanted credit for the criminal mastermind.
Let me get this straight.
Not only
was he selling the moonshine, but he was unsure of the price of the moonshine and had to call to be more illegal.
Hold on, let me find out.
Do you think he looks like this or like this?
Oh, both.
No. Look, can I just tell you? Next to Derek White, Gogi looked like he got model teeth. Because at least, look, having a chip tooth, but everybody else is in class is okay.
Well,
but having a chip tooth and you got 5 people in the 5th grade and 6 people in the 6th grade, no.
We'll take a quick break and play a little Goosies. No Goosies next. Welcome back. Tobin and Leroy here with you. Play a little Goosies, no Goosies. You guys missed John Michael. He joined us earlier in the show. We will talk to him, a little Trae Young, a little Miami Heat with him coming on up. Well, let's get to our favorite Thursday game. A little Goosies, no Goosies. So, JFig, do you have the topics?
Yes, I do.
Give us topic number one.
Ooh, country JFig. That's new.
Yes, I
Yes,
do.
I do.
And I also shell moonshine out of the tire shop.
Wait,
I'm gonna lie. No, I kind of want moonshine.
That's the better question.
You telling me I can't get no shine in Hialeah?
Hialeah, probably Broward.
Negative Ghost Rider.
I don't think so, dude. I think they got other things going on there.
All right.
What do we got, JFig?
Well, for number one, we have saving a raccoon from choking. Would you like to see a video?
Sure.
What? All right, so Buddy is here in the backyard. This is a guy from Michigan, Leroy. And he is you can notice there, he's got his hand on that vermin. Let's roll the tape.
Did he helped it? I think that he isn't. He is choking though. A little bit lower, Bill. Upward motion. There you go. There it is. A little bit lower. Let's go. You're not going to die. Yes. You're not going to die. You saved it. I hope you got that. I hope you got that.
Oh
my
God.
That was terrifying.
No.
Wow. Bill saved that raccoon's life.
That's beautiful.
Now you can just the raccoon go behind it and tear up your trash. Right here, right?
Yeah, the raccoon's like, I got a hero now. Wow.
That raccoon is a friend for life now.
Leroy, is there any shot if you see a raccoon choking on whatever, you're saving it?
No.
Wow, Leroy.
Wow.
I mean, wait. First of all, they're nasty.
Well,
and unlike they do carry rabies.
They do carry rabies, but it is at
so
night.
You're telling me that you would risk all that. And who's to say when you go pet him on the back like that, he don't turn around and get you? These are all questions.
According to TMZ, this Michigan man named Bill Boski sprung into action. He's from Burton, Michigan. Hey, go blue. Look at that, Leroy. Wearing the Michigan hat. He came to the aid of a distressed critter with some heavy pats to dislodge a piece of cheese it was eating.
Oh, wait. He probably fed him the cheese. That's why he had to save him.
He felt guilty.
Yeah.
Come on, Bill.
Or his guy with the camera there fed him. I got the Goosies either way. Like, listen, you saved his life.
Goosies.
Saved him from something that you wouldn't have had to if you hadn't fed it to him. Now, who in the hell thought that cheese was something you give to a raccoon?
It's not the first thought that comes to my head.
Right.
This is what they say. They don't claim they were feeding him.
Oh, you just found cheese in your backyard?
How do you find cheese in a backyard like that?
I'll give you the details. This is what he says. Boski said the raccoon wandered in his backyard. After a while, his buddies realized he wasn't going to attack, wasn't a threat. They left him alone to do his thing, sniffing around and looking for grub. However, the raccoon rummaged through their trash and started munching on a chunk of cheese and soon found itself in a bit of a pickle, rearing up and making strange noises, which the boys came out to investigate, only to discover that he needed a hand.
Really?
You believe he caused this intentionally?
It ain't like they gave him the Heimlich. He just pat him on the back.
Well, his buddy gave his buddy gave good advice. You got to go a little bit lower, Bill.
Like, you know where, like, he say, hey, but I feel like I'm patting this thing on his ass.
But he isn't. He is choking though. A little bit lower, Bill. Upward motion. There you go.
Oh.
There it is. A little bit lower.
Oh, poor little
Let's
kid.
go. You're making the time. Yes.
Did they save him? Wait, did they save him? Because he's still wobbling.
Well, it's a very traumatic thing to have air.
God.
Watch him. Watch even walking away.
Even walking away, you can tell he's still struggling.
Well, okay, but if the
That poor
raccoon
little
was,
thing.
let's
And
say
when
that
did raccoons start shaking stuff off like dogs? Right? Like,
Yeah.
right? What is it? I ain't never seen a raccoon do that.
JFig,
Right?
you
Have
got-
you? Have you ever
JFig.
seen a raccoon shake like a dog?
No,
Like
but I've
he's
never
wet.
seen a raccoon choke either.
Yeah, on a piece of cheese.
On a piece of cheese.
JFig, you got the Goosies?
I do have the Goosies. I mean, what
Goosies
separates us
galore.
from
I'm gonna say,
animals,
wait,
you know?
I'm gonna say I don't have the Goosies for the whole raccoon and cheese thing, because you probably shouldn't be stealing food, you trash panda. But I do have the Goosies for somebody
Animal.
extending a hand to a distressed animal.
Yeah.
Goose.
Would I have
Trevor?
done it? Absolutely not.
Trevor, you got the Goosies? Goosies.
No, I really don't. I'm impressed with this. No Goosies. Too much. Too
Too
much.
much?
Oh,
Too much.
Lightsaber.
Wow. Too much chit chat on that.
Wait, but
Hey,
here's
Bill.
the other thing.
Yeah.
I figured they had
Not
to
very
save him
green of you,
because it
Trevor.
would be almost worse to have to move a dead raccoon. So you save him so you don't have to deal with the body.
Dude, let me tell you something right now. I know you. There's no way you're saving a critter's life and being like, well, the disposal will be easier, because I know immediately you're thinking about a reach back and bite from the raccoon.
Yes.
What if you
absolutely.
wore some sort of glove or some protection
Wait,
while
this
you're
is-
helping
whoa,
this
whoa, whoa, whoa.
critter?
JFig, you ain't got time to prepare. You joking. Let me go find my gloves, raccoon. I got you.
Shouldn't be that far. Shouldn't be that far.
You trying to go get equipment and gear, and then you gonna come out there, he die. He's gonna be looking right at you.
She's trying
What
to
if you
EMT
pat
this
him
bad
with the
boy.
shoe?
Yeah,
What if you pat him with the shoe?
Right.
think,
When the chips are down, you can't EMT him. You gotta go with it.
Do you think this opens up the door, though? Because the raccoon now knows he has a safe haven. So now he's going to go back and be like, well, even if I
Definitely gonna
bite
open
off,
up the door.
No.
he's coming back for returns, or do you think
No,
he's traumatized?
I can't go back there. They got cheese. You ever think he's thinking like that?
Maybe
don't know.
he smells the cheese again and he knows, nope, let me not do that.
All right, I got you.
Animals are smart.
Really?
that one.
Not that one.
Well, you know what? It was a little trial and error type situation, you know?
Could have been, though, if like nobody was there to help. That could have been curtains for the raccoon.
Right.
He would have trashed his last panda. Like it would have been over.
But then here's the problem. It's not like you do an autopsy on them and say, oh, raccoons can't eat cheese.
Schmieden
Nobody
points
would
out Leroy already killed Ricky. That was Leroy's pet squirrel.
That wasn't my pet squirrel. It's not
You
my
had
fault that I got a habitat for animals up in here.
Honestly, I was really sad when Ricky passed. Okay?
Yeah.
He had a good life. He thought that his curtains were a tree.
Yeah, but he also, I kept telling my daughter, she brings these animals from outside and then she want to sleep when it's 70. You can't do that with outside animals.
Dade South says the raccoon does the same thing Tobin does on the internet, searching for someone who will agree with him.
Yeah.
You're accusing me of being an internet raccoon?
Yes.
Like I'm a take trash panda? Just rummaging?
There it is.
I mean,
Oh, that's awesome. Take trash panda.
it's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Oh, man. Give us one more quickly for Goosies, JFig.
Okay, well, Michael Chandler is fighting Max Holloway. He seems interested on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw this. He gave a salute to somebody suggesting that he should fight Michael Chandler. I feel bad for for Michael Chandler because there's rumors that Conor McGregor is in rehab, and then there's rumors that he's hurt, even though now he's on the internet partying in Ireland again. I would be really frustrated if I was Michael Chandler. So if he does fight Max Holloway, Goosies. I would like to see that fight. Great fight.
Yes. It sucks because there's a lot of sports and a lot of things that we are entertained by that the guys that bring us the most entertainment are knuckleheads. Right?
It's unfortunate, but yes.
And the fight game is like that. You got real 4 or 5 consummate professionals
But then the guys that are really bringing the smoke, the guys that really bring interest in it, you can't get them consistently, right?
It's
the
tough.
John Jones,
Conor
McGregor.
Hamzat.
You can't get them consistently,
tough,
right?
man.
And so it's just unfortunate. Same thing in football. Usually you have a couple of guys who, show a lot of promise that are awesome. You can't wait to see, and then boom. Like it happens in sports. It sucks. I have the Goosies because these are two guys that have been consummate professionals, and it sucks that because they've been reliable, that they're not going to get paid the money that a Conor McGregor would get. But yeah, he still gets
Still a big money fight if it were to happen.
Right.
If he does it.
Exactly.
If he does it. JFig, you got the Goosies?
I most likely will not be watching it. So
fair enough.
No Goosies.
At least you're honest. Trevor, Goosies, big MMA matchup.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm out on the fight game.
All right.
I've lost it. It doesn't have it.
I'll bring
anymore.
you back. Walk
Please.
with me. Walk with me.
You walk with me to the hockey fun. Get out of the NBA circles. Come to the hockey circles. You have more fun.
I can't give it up. I'll just do it with everything, buddy. But
come to the hockey circles. You'll have more fun.
We'll take a break. John Michaels of 680 The Fan in Atlanta. We'll talk a little NBA with him coming up next. All right. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's Tobin and Leroy here with you, 560 WQAM. Getting you ready for Stanley Cup Final, Game 6 tomorrow night. But we've been having some silly time with the NBA as well as we're getting.
No, we
into
haven't.
the
You
yeah,
have.
we having a good
No,
time.
we haven't.
No, we're not. We're not. You guys are. I'm
Yo,
not.
Here you phony. The guy that you have been making more fun of over the last few years.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you open arms. Don't be a phony.
First round exit. Times change, dude. Times
Don't
change.
be a phony.
Oh, you call it a fraud. You call it a fraud. I just call it a changed man.
A fraud. A changed man. All
right. Let's go out to the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop hundreds of Toyotas indoors at one of America's largest showrooms at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. I figure we get this man's opinion on this. John Michaels, mornings on 680 of the Fan in Atlanta. John, South Florida guy, but of course, boots on the ground there in Atlanta. So we figured he's got the Heat tatted up. So this is a man, part of Heat Nation, but also, probably knows more about what is going on with this whole Hawks summer going in, because it's a weird summer for them. Yeah, John, like they got the #1 pick out of nowhere. They seem to have this question about who the hell fits next to Trae Young anymore. So I guess going into, before we dive into Trae Young to the Heat, like what do you think is going to happen with Atlanta this summer?
With the Hawks, expect mediocrity is what you can expect. I mean, you're talking about a franchise that passed on Chris Paul, a franchise that took Sheldon Williams and told everybody, hey, we're going to take him, traded away Luka Doncic, although I'm a big Trae Young fan, so I don't think that's as bad as people made it out to be. But the problem is they've overpaid, traded for DeJounte Murray, gave up 3 first-round picks for him. He's a solid guy and whatnot. But before we dive into this, Tobin, I got to ask you, Leroy, former NFL player, and I listen to you guys a lot when I'm driving home because I want to hear my Miami sports talk. Either you guys or Hochman and Crowder. And I noticed there's something with the former NFL players. I work with Brian Finneran, who played for the Falcons forever. Yeah. You guys love to just give us radio guys crap. And I noticed when we come back, you're calling Tobin phony and everything else. Tob, I got your back, bro. I got your back, buddy. Man. These NFL guys.
Thank you.
Hold on. I would not allow this. You don't understand this dude. This guy has been on Trae Young. Oh, Trae Young, we made him yell pineapple. We did this. And now I come into work today and he's saying, hey, I'm kind of feeling this Trae Young thing. No.
That's a plan A. Just like you got to be open to it.
If you were to say that, I'm done with him after you have supported him for all these years, I understand that. But you can't go the other way.
Why not?
Not in sport. You can't be a guy who has made fun of him, that garden gnome, his hair flaps. He's made so much fun of Trae Young over the years. And now he greets me this morning with, hey, how you doing? I'm warming up to Trae Young. That's how I'm doing. No.
Yeah, but this is what happens when you lose 4-1, and we got Boston down in Miami celebrating. That's what happened.
Yeah, but do you think Trae Young is going to help that?
100% he will help
No.
that.
Why does everybody think? I just see Trae Young getting caught up in a blender and getting pick and roll to death with all of these big wings and these big point guards.
Yeah, but the difference is the Heat have a Bam Adebayo behind. They have a Jimmy Butler who actually wants to play defense. He's been in Atlanta where Clint Capella can't guard me. I mean, I'm 49 years old with bad Achilles and everything else. I think I could out jump Clint Capella. He's never had anybody to really help him. And I agree, Leroy, let's be real. The NBA is now all about pick and roll and setting up matchups. How about every now and then fight through a screen and stay on the guy that's supposed to be guarding you? And I think for Trae, maybe more than the defensive side, anything, I think he needs somebody to push him. I think there needs to be a culture aspect behind his game. Not to say he's been entitled in Atlanta, because he hasn't, but he has been a little bit. You know, they made an Eastern Conference Finals back in 2021, and everybody patted him on the back. You're the greatest ever. And then the last couple of years, they've fired multiple coaches. They've tried to put different pieces around him, and there's been no accountability for him to be better in the one aspect that he's failed at. So that's where I'm with Tobin. I love Trae. I don't want him to leave Atlanta because I think he is somebody here that's a big draw. But if I can get my Heat back in the NBA Finals and Trae Young is the piece, let's do it, and let's do it now.
Oh, and I
But, like,
should have known
what do
your
you mean,
feelings on
dude?
this because Tobin, he searches the web
That's not fair.
for feelings that are similar to his, and then they bring you guys on and railroad me.
That's
right?
not fair, dude.
I'm like, no, yes. So he's like, you know what? John Michaels loves Trae. I'm gonna get him on. Right?
Well, I mean, I just felt you were too dismissive about it yesterday. That's why. So I figure we get a man who does love Trae Young, who has seen Trae Young do big things. And I also like, what is the feeling over there, though, John? Like, do they feel like this is actually the end of the Trae Young era? Because like, it's silly time right now, so everything's kind of out in the ether. Like, is there a thought that they're gonna break up him and DeJounte Murray and ship Trae, go with the #1 pick, rebuild? Like, what are the thoughts there of what they're gonna do?
You know what's crazy? The Hawks, when I say haphazard organization, multiple general managers, Landry Fields there, the owner's son's involved. I think it's 50-50 what they're going to do one way or the other. Because truthfully, I think if you want a guy to really build around, it's supposed to be Trae Young. You traded away Luka Doncic for him. He's a guy that's a walking 26-10 in his sleep on his worst day. But the other thought is, has it run its course? You know, you traded away, again, the 3 first-round picks for DeJounte Murray. So after this year, the Hawks have no picks. So they have to try to recruit. So the way that you recoup is either trade away your one asset that everybody wants in Trae Young, maybe trade away DeJounte Murray, who's not going to bring you the same haul in return, or you trade away the first overall pick in a draft that normally, if you had the first pick, everybody would be clamoring to get these guys. But Alex Sarr, Risha Shea, Reed Shepard, nobody cares about these dudes. I think 50-50 whether Trae Young's going to be there or not. And I just think it's going to be how much of a package can they get in return. This is a guy that signed a 5-year, $215 million extension. So he's under contract for 3 more years at $40+ million per. So you're going to have to send back that kind of money to the Hawks, and they're going to want picks or young players because they need pieces to build around outside of Trae and DeJounte and whoever the hell they pick at #1. It looks like the Risha Shea kid or the Donovan Clingan kid. Outside of that, they don't really have anybody that anybody cares about.
Can I interest you in the Tyler Herro?
So for personal reasons, no, hear me out. So,
you can't. No.
You got to hear me out on this one.
All right.
For personal reasons, my son is a 15-year-old basketball lover, and he loves the Heat like I do. If you heard me on Hockman and Crowder, his Christmas gift, we came to Miami to go to a Heat game. He had never been to a Heat game in the Heat's house. So me and him flew down, went to South Beach, did all that stuff. His favorite player hanging on the wall, he patterns his game after, is Tyler Herro. I cannot have Tyler Herro leaving the Miami Heat, but I've cooked up a better package. Hear me out on this one.
Oh, boy. Hear me out. Usually follows with
Terry
something that.
Ooh, Duncan Robinson, whoever we pick at 15, because you can't trade the 15th pick until you make back for Trae Young. Can I interest you in that?
Trae or Terry Rozier.
Well, because Trae is
Robinson.
going to take Rozier's spot.
Yeah, see, if I'm there, John, I actually don't mind the package that John throws. I don't think the Hawks say yes to that. Like, I don't feel like they're doing this by getting a guy who's a solid player in Terry and Duncan. I feel like you got to go for the youth of getting a Tyler Herro if you're going to do that, you know? Like, that's just the way I would see it going. Like, if he could get that package going, yeah, you're talking about maybe the worst defensive backcourt in the history of basketball. But man, they could shoot. Oh my God, him and Trae with Jimmy Bam, and I guess if you're keeping Jovic in that situation, yeah, that would be awesome.
Can the Heat really pull the trigger on that though? Because you're going into that conversation going, listen, Spo, we are gonna suck it. Right? Can you wait? Pat Riley calls. Here's what he calls. He calls Spo and it says, "Hear me out. We're gonna trade for Trae Young, right? Like, can you sell that to Spo?
Why couldn't you? Because you know what? I think Spo cares about winning more than he cares about anything else. You know what? He reinvented himself after that first year of the big three, and they realized, hey, offensively, we stink. And now we're going to go small ball, and it's going to be pace and space and everything else. I think Spoke could reinvent himself. I think you'd have a harder time selling it on Jimmy for 82 games a year that, wait a second, now not only do I have to cover up for Tyler Herro, but I got to cover up for Trae Young. I think in that scenario, Tyler goes to the bench and you bring in a cheaper, and I like to say cheaper, defensive-oriented backcourt mate to go alongside Trae Young. Somebody like Thabo Cephalosha used to be years ago. You know, he wasn't going to score 3 points, but he'd go lock somebody down. You bring somebody alongside that during free agency, and you tell Tyler, hey, we're going to put you back in the six-man role. You and Jaime go do exactly what you need to do there, and we try to get things done that way. Leroy, to your point, though, I don't think the Hawks will accept that. I think what they're looking for, honestly, if they do move a Trae Young, is a multitude of first-round picks. And that's going to be hard to come by for the Heat because they treat first-round picks like I treat Taco Bell. They just throw them away as fast as they can devour them. I mean, they're in and they're out. So I don't know if you got enough picks to make it happen. I think the best thing going for the Heat, if that were a scenario, you're looking at Trae Young, is that he doesn't really have a market around the NBA. It seems like for whatever reason, he's been vilified and folks don't like him. Makes no sense to me, but if that drives the price point down for a potential Heat reunion or a Heat union, I'd go for that in a heartbeat.
Well, yeah, like, so can you speak to that a little bit? Like, why do you think that is? I mean, we've heard like the John Collins stuff back in the day. Like he didn't seem to love playing with him, but you know, he does average a lot of assists. Like, what's the deal with that with Trae Young? Like, why is that the knock on him?
I think he's maybe pointed as a coach killer. I mean, you think about it. Lloyd Pierce was there. You have obviously the coach that they have now, and I'm drawing a blank.
Quinn Snyder.
Yeah, Quinn Snyder. You went and hired him, but they've already gone through 3 coaches. Nate McMillan was there for a little while. And I think a lot of it has to do with the effort. Like, you look and go watch the play-in game against Chicago. And I know they were getting blown out earlier. There's times that Trae Young doesn't even try. I mean, literally, it's just, I'm going to stand there and let an Alex Caruso or whoever blow by me. And I think that's part of it. And, you know, they've had multiple team meetings in Atlanta. John Collins spoke to some of that where he talked about they weren't necessarily getting along. And it just doesn't seem like, even though the numbers are great, that Trae has made players around him better. I don't want to say they're empty numbers, but if you can go 26-10 and nobody around you is better, maybe they are. Think about their only run in the postseason as well. The only time they had a run, you had Lou Williams, who was a 30-something-year-old vet coming off the bench. Danilo Gallinari at 30-some-odd years old, coming off the bench, helping them. They had veterans that could really corral Trae Young, and that's why I say someplace like Miami would be fantastic because you'd have that. I don't know how true it is that he's not liked, but think about it. No Olympic team, none. They don't even think about it. And he's been left off the All-Star team a couple of times. This year he made it as an alternate, but there were times that he's been left off. How do you average 26-10 in the NBA and nobody votes you in? That's a telling sign.
It is. I don't like. I get what everybody says about Trae. You immediately look at the numbers, 26-10, but that doesn't tell the whole story in basketball. Mm-hmm. We have this phrase, a looter in a riot, right? And so you have to figure out what is the impact and what will be the impact of those numbers with the Heat. Now, I'll say this. He will probably be more assist-oriented and maybe not score 26 a game, but his threat of pulling up from anywhere will have to free some guys up to do what they do inside. I can warm up to that. I'm just saying, on the other side, I just see him with a butt in his face going, oh no, help. Like the whole time, because that's what the league has become now. We watch these playoffs, and every game, what do they talk about? Oh, they're just going to run the pick and roll till they can get on Luka. They're going to run the pick and roll till they can get on somebody else. How is somebody going? You can't protect Trae from that unless you run the zone.
How much different is that, though, with Terry Rozier? I mean, I love Terry. I think I would have liked to seen him healthy in the playoffs.
Right.
But they seek him out. They seek out Tyler Herro. I mean, the same thing can be said pretty much anywhere. Indiana makes it to the Eastern Conference Finals and played about as much defense as we do. You know, I mean, they didn't care about defense.
No, they need.
We could run fast. Let's run fast.
The Heat were playing in a different decade this year. It was awful to watch.
Dude,
it was putrid offense to watch. Like
they literally scored 80 points in 3 of the games against the Celtics.
That's what I'm saying, Leroy. Like, he's not my plan A. Like, obviously, I like Spida first or something like that. But like, if it doesn't work out, yeah, I feel like the Heat need to pivot and think, all right, well, what else is out there? Like, what's the next move if Donovan Mitchell does stay in Cleveland? Where else could they go? I just don't think you could turn down that offensive talent like that if that did become available and there was a reasonable deal like what we're talking about. I don't know if Atlanta says the Robinson, Rozier, and the pick this year and an extra pick, but like if they did like Tyler, even if you had to do something hard, like if you had to say like Tyler and Jaime for it. I mean, I think if you're the Heat, you got to talk about it. I really do. I think that's something you got to mull over.
Want to throw, man, that young talent, like you've been pretty good with your first round picks.
Yeah.
For the last few years. I don't want to I'm not willing unless it's a really good player that I know is going to be better than that to get rid of either Jovic or Jaime Jaquez. Right.
The hardest thing, Leroy, trust me, last year's finals run was electric. Being able to watch that with my son every night, and when they beat Boston in Game 7, I got tears in my eyes like I'm a 10-year-old because as you guys like to say, goosies galore for everything that was going on there. But this year was like watching a root canal. 8 games of that, and an awful play-in game, and a second awful play-in game. I can't do it again. As much as I love Tyler Herro, and I love him, he's one of my favorite players. As much as I love Jaime Jaquez and the potential in Nikola Jovic, if they run it back, that is going to be a really hard sell for everybody. Like, you can't run it back and say, hey, we picked, Rob Dillingham at number 15 or Isaiah Collier at number 15, and this is what we're going to be. Now, you got to shake the tree, and I think it's time, maybe not whale hunting, but you better be looking for a great white somewhere. You need something that's going to shake this thing up.
Wait, all that being said, who's in the worst spot right now? Atlanta might win the division with making one of the decisions that everybody scratched their head, right? You give a guaranteed $100+ million to a guy with an Achilles tear and then draft the quarterback in the first round.
Oh, my goodness. The Hawks are in a worse position than the Falcons. At least for the first time in 7 years, the Falcons have some sort of thought that they're going to make the playoffs. I mean, they did do some good things. Kirk's going to be a hell of a lot better than damn Desmond Ridder and Marcus Mariota, who we've had the last couple of years. But I am dumbfounded. Finn and I and Joe Ham, and we've got a big old show on in home team. All of us came in that Friday after they took Michael Penix and said, what in the blue hell just happened?
Yep.
If you would have took him at 27th in the first round, cool. You took a guy at number 8 who is, if all goes well, will not play a single damn snap in the next 3 years.
Until he's 30.
Right. We're going to have to give him a 5th-year option before we've ever seen the damn guy play football. What the hell are we thinking? I look at, and I love Terry Fontenot, our GM, but I'm like, Rich McKay must have had his hands in it. Something happened to take Michael Penix number 8 overall. It was nuts.
John, we appreciate the time, man. Thanks so much.
Hey, before we go, let's go Panthers. Let's get this one.
Yes!
I just want to take a damn game 7.